Oh, hi. We're both here.
We're both on time. We're doing it different.
Hello, Internet.
Hello, Internet. I'll just copy what he says.
We are here
We are here.
to talk about the Bad Batch. So welcome to Popcorn Chicken.
I feel bad. We should bring the third member in.
Hello there.
Yeah, okay.
I was wondering, you two just showed up.
Well, somebody had to go and fix everything.
Oh,
We
sure.
just having a good old time.
Fix
Have a
everything.
grand old time. I'm trying
How's
to-
going? How's going?
Not
Is
bad,
go-
not
is-
bad.
He's go good.
Is go good?
Elvin, where are the lights?
Oh yes, you're right.
Yeah, it's so monochrome.
You know, I've been having the worst luck with internet in the last couple of days. I don't know what's going on. My internet's just dipping hard. Like
It
randomly.
mine died last night randomly.
Yeah,
It's the
it's
snow.
maybe I don't know.
Killed.
Whatever
You're
it
probably not
is.
wrong.
It's weird, man. I felt like I was in the back of the dial-up days, man. I was like, "What's going on here?" It took like 5 minutes for a picture to show up.
Woof.
What? Oh man. Okay. We're here to talk about the Bad Batch,
Yeah.
episode
Mhm.
6.
6. Yep.
6. It does not feel like it was been that
Not a
many.
filler episode.
No. Well, no. This one in general just felt like the Bad Batch again. Cuz like episode 3 was like, all right, let's talk about some real world shit and like some real issues. And the next episode was like, yeah, fuck it, we'll do a racing one. And then the next one was just like, whatever, Wanda Sykes needs a paycheck. And then this one was like, all right, here's actual progression of story and things that happen.
Yep.
We got
Thinking-
Darth is here. Viper's here.
I have 2 quick comments. One, when you think about it, it's such a weird like order. You go from the super dark episode 3 to now this is pod racing and just move over to that.
Yeah.
Oh, is that, you weren't here for a couple of the episodes, right? Or were you?
No, I've been here for all the Bad Batch. It's the
Okay.
the Sunday
the
episodes.
good show
last
you
of it.
don't show up to.
The good show. I have work. This show has the potential to be really, really good. We've seen
Yeah.
what they can do. It's still early in the season. We're only 6
Mhm.
episodes in. Well, I guess we're
Out of
actually
12?
I think it's 13.
No.
So is it
17,
13 or
right?
16? Oh, let's quickly double check that.
As you can tell, we always fact check here before we start our show.
Dude, that's what we're doing right now.
16. Yeah, you got it. 16. So yeah, we still have plenty of time for it to progress.
But there's got to be fillers in there somewhere.
yeah, there have to be.
At least 2 more fillers, I'm thinking, at least.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think there's going to be more fillers.
We did get introduced to a new character.
No, we didn't.
No, he's
No?
not new.
Really?
We've
Clone
seen
Wars.
him in the Clone Wars. Yep.
I have not watched the Clone Wars in thorough like a lot of people.
There was
have.
a 3-episode arc where Yoda takes all these Padawans to Ilum to find
Oh,
their
yes.
lightsaber
Okay, now I
crystals,
remember.
and he's in
okay.
whatever his name is, Grumble.
But
or
they never
something.
mentioned his name, did they?
Mhm.
No, they do, and also
Mhm.
he's with Ahsoka during an episode,
Okay.
and then they get kidnapped by pirates and all that.
This is
Yeah,
a big deal episode then.
So
Yeah.
it is. I'll be honest, Justin. So you and I recognize it as soon as you
Yeah.
saw him. Did you think, "Ja, it's him"? I can't remember the
Oh
name. but
yeah,
it was
right when I
him.
saw the
Yeah.
Fang, I was just like, hey, it's that fucking guy.
Yeah.
Gungi? Is it Gungi?
Grumble.
It's the Wookiee. I'm being Wookiee racist here, but it's just the Wookiee, young Wookiee.
It's so fun. They're all
Okay,
fuzzy.
so that's cool that you guys will watch that and you can say that there's a connection of the dots there. That's pretty interesting because I was watching it. I haven't seen the Clone Wars in depth like you guys.
Mhm.
I've gone here and there. There's way too many episodes. I don't have the time in the day to even watch new stuff. Forget old stuff.
Well, no. There's actually, and before the last season of the Clone Wars came out on Disney Plus, they had like, here's a playlist of the important episodes where they skip all the filler.
Okay. Maybe I'll check
And-
that out. Yeah.
I did that. Like I think I've watched all of the episodes at some point, but like it was mostly just like, oh, okay, once a week, every month or so, I would like watch 6 or 7 episodes back to back, kind of thing.
Okay, cool. That
Um,
probably will help me kind of know the galaxy a little bit more.
Yeah, but there's a playlist. I'm pretty sure it should still be there. And it was just like, yo, here's the important Clone Wars episodes.
Yo, how's it going, Doom?
What up, Doomplex?
We're doing great. How are you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's start with this. Let's get into it.
Yeah.
Who wants to go first? Nathan. All right, you put your hand up.
All right.
Fantastic.
We start off with I don't know what planet they were on. All I know is it was
It was on a ship,
smuggling
wasn't it not? It was a dock.
Yeah.
They
Was
it a
docked in a
ship?
ship.
Oh, okay.
Imperial ship. They docked in to get some.
No, it wasn't
No,
an
no,
Imperial
not
ship. This
not
is
Imperial.
Are
this
you
is a
sure? Because that looked
smuggler's-
like an Imperial ship.
This is
because
black market.
Yeah,
slave
because
stuff.
it was
But
they
they could
were
still have an
selling.
Imperial ship that they stole. Could they not?
No, that's just the like
you s-
Republic cruiser that they have,
Okay.
or like
if you
a,
steal
a
like
form of that.
if you steal a present Imperial ship, that would be massive. Like a
Yeah.
huge uproar. I'm pretty
Ooh.
sure the fleet would track you down. That would actually be kind of cool. But
Would be. We accidentally carjacked.
So
From the
they're on a
Imperials.
ship. It's a training ship or
No,
boarding
it's
ship.
it's a pirate ship because they're
Arr.
trading. They're trading.
Fake
Forged
ID,
some
credit
rum?
ID,
Yeah, like SIM
Space
cards,
rum?
pretty much.
Oh, okay. SIM
fake
cards.
data chips or whatever they were.
Okay, SIM cards.
They're
okay.
the chain codes or whatever.
Verizon SIM
Yeah,
cards.
yeah,
Okay,
chain
got
codes.
it.
Sure.
Okay.
But,
And
as
always
soon
things can never be perfect when you have
Omega.
Omega on deck.
oh,
The
yeah.
minute they said you two stay behind,
I was like, oh well,
I'm
Mega's
like,
gonna
yeah,
fuck
one of
something
them
up.
is not staying behind, and we know which
Yeah.
one it is. Is it getting annoying now?
No, she just had 2 episodes of look, she's older and more mature, and then they're just like, what? What did we say? Never mind.
I think I don't know. I got annoyed. I really did. Like when she just like got up and she looked around. The worst was when she did the look around. I was like, "What are you looking at?
Yeah.
There's nobody there, obviously."
What's around here? What kind of fun can I have? It's like you're on a pirate ship, motherfucker. Like, be careful.
Yeah. Why would Echo even let her run off?
I don't
Well, no, he
know.
went back to get the ship.
But yeah,
ready
because
he wanted to get out of here too. He's like,
Yeah,
I don't
but
feel...
Wouldn't
go
it be like just stick by me? Don't run off.
well,
Stay
at
right
this
here.
point,
This is a dangerous.
she can hold her own, so they don't have to babysit her. So
Yeah, but she
she's
keeps
like,
doing
I'm gonna go
stupid shit like
adventure,
this.
and he's just like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, but as soon as like Omega keeps friggin' like running off and pissing off pirates and it just doing like sure she can hold her own, but imagine taking like a youngling. Younglings can fight pretty well. Like an
Mhm.
older, more advanced youngling, maybe a Padawan, they can fight well. But you throw them in the middle of like a fucking sorry for the swearing.
Yeah,
You
can't watch your fucking mouth.
you throw them into like the middle of a gladiator ring or something like that, or I don't know,
Or a
make them
very
slave, they
highly
fall apart.
sensitive diplomatic mission, or a
Yeah.
pirate ship.
They're gonna
they're bound to
screw around.
Not be very tactful.
And Omega, gosh, I don't know. Alvin, as you said, like, are you getting annoyed? The answer for me is yes. Omega is.
I'm
annoying
getting
now.
annoyed. I really am. I
And
don't
I get
want
that's her
her.
character though.
Oh, Darth says he hasn't started the season. Well,
Spoilers.
fair warning, we are going to spoil it for you. But still watch it. I mean, watch it and get your opinion on it too, even if we spoil it, right? Yeah, no, I'm getting annoyed with her, man. Like, honestly, I know she made a decision to go explore, and that helped a certain someone escape. But I just think, like, in the grand scheme of things, Hunter needs to like grab her by the neck and say, "Can you sit the fuck down?
Yeah.
Every time you do something stupid, you're putting all of our lives in danger."
Yeah.
Right? I get it. You want to do right by everybody, but we're all gonna die at one point. There's only so many times we can escape danger, and we're trying to lay low because the entire, Imperial, whoever, everybody out there against them wants them and wants to kill them. And so we're trying to make money to survive, and we've taken you on board and are making you live because we have to do these missions so you can eat and enjoy your little bow and arrow tricks.
Well,
So
in the
shut the fuck up and
first
sit down.
episode, Hunter was like, "We want to make this money so that because they feel bad that Omega hasn't
Amiga.
hasn't had the ability to have a childhood."
Put her up for adoption. Well, like, okay, that sounds bad, but like,
You
you know,
think?
They're clearly unfit parents.
Well, Wrecker's pretty humble.
Yo,
Did-
Wrecker in this episode was my favorite.
He's
Yeah,
been
he's
my
pretty
favorite
good.
for a long time.
He was so good when like they're in the middle of the battle and there's just like Wookiees just like going like this and he's
He's
like,
like,
"Yeah, my people! Finally, people I can relate to." And he's just like, "Bruh."
Crush sculling beer, drinking people here. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, all they need to do was the Stone Cold can
Yeah.
of beers in their hands. That's all they needed to do.
yeah,
well, they kind of had that, didn't they?
a little
With the
bit, yeah.
Yeah. But okay,
He's
so I
just-
mean,
Chugging
See-
kegs with some Wookiees.
oh man, riding on the back of those animals, right?
Yeah,
But yeah, so she finds this guy, this
Gungi or Gungi.
Gungi, being tortured, and so she basically frees him.
Don't do it.
And-
He's a living thing. You can't smuggle them. That's my bad. Oh my god.
That's horrible for an Aussie. That's not even close.
no. She's New Zealand. She's from
Yeah.
I
New
know. I meant you
Yeah.
with your accent. You're practically neighbors. But yeah, okay. So she frees him, and of course, everybody in the whole place needs to be alerted of this because they're all droids and they're all going to be connected through the Wi-Fi.
So okay, that and this isn't a dig at the show. This is just a thing in the back of my mind whenever people are going up against robots. Like that's the most terrifying thing to go up against because like you can't hide. They've got like thermal sensors. They've got better sound sensors than any living thing. And also, they're essentially just a walking security camera that it's just a big hive mind. So if one sees you,
Yeah.
then they all know. And if you kill one of them, they still all saw it. And it's just like you can't run, you can't hide. So
So
Okay,
that's a good
speaking
point
of-
to bring up. But keep in mind, though, not all droids have that. In fact, that's one
No.
of the biggest differences we see between episodes 1 and 2 for like the actual trilogy, the prequel
Mhm.
trilogy, is that in episode 1, all the I was going to call them clones. All the droids had they're connected to some server. They actually had kind of a hive mind, and at one
Yeah.
point that was taken out, and so they all shut down. And from that
Mhm.
point onwards, these separatists switched over to having individual processors
Individual,
in each droid. Yeah, so that way each droid is separate, and then it makes sense then to have droids that are on an individual basis for things
Yeah.
besides security. So that way, if one gets taken out, not all of them get taken out. You know, server wise, someone can't just come up to the big control room and I don't know, stab a knife in the middle of the board and everything just shuts
yeah,
down.
take it all down. And that's why they have tactical droids too, because then they're not all being fed from the same source, and they have one droid that's sole purpose is to come up with plans and shit.
Yeah, yeah.
Viper asked me a question because I do collect this line. So today was GI Joe Day. Joe
Mhm.
Day. They revealed a bunch of stuff. Yeah, I'm super stoked and excited for the reveals today. They had some really cool GI Joe figures. Revealed.
And we
Yeah.
put out a GI Joe video today,
Yes, we did.
or GI Joe short.
Yeah, go check that out. That's pretty awesome.
I was though that end pose where he's standing on the back of the motorcycle with the minigun, and also the popping a wheelie and still shooting. Those took me no time at all. Like like it was just one of those things where I like moved his legs, put him on, and then he just stood, and I was like, "Hey, nobody fucking breathe." I just like took out my camera and started shooting.
Yeah, I know. But where they lacking additional hands, they still make up for weaponry.
Yeah.
So I mean, as long as they got cup holding hands, I'm okay with. But I hear
And
you.
also the hands that they do come with, I was a bit apprehensive because they're both like gun holding hands, and he comes with like multiple guns. But he's got a pair of binoculars, and I was like, oh, and I'm used to like Marvel Legends hands where they're just like made of they're either made of paper mache and they don't hold shit, or they're made of adamantium and you can't fucking move them. And this was like a perfect in between where it was just like, oh yeah, it'll go in there and it's still malleable, but it'll still grip onto things.
Okay, dive back into here. Star Wars: The Other Galaxy.
Speaking of having the upper hand,
Oh, look at that segue.
oh, I meant
So they have a little square off. They're fighting. Blah blah blah. They escape. They basically escape. Get out. Did they take all the goods with them too? Did they get their bounty?
did they get their little toolbox of I don't know.
Cards?
Yeah, they didn't really show that.
Anyways, whatever. They find out that he says that he wants to go back to his home planet, or Omega has an idea saying let's go take him back to his home planet.
Mm-hmm.
But they're like, it's going to be filled with Imperials. That's a hot spot. We should not go there. So where do they go instead?
No. The Kashyyyk is where he wants to go. That's the home world of the Wookiees.
So they took him into an Imperial hotspot.
No. They said
Not
we have.
yet.
So actually, they say, "Oh, wow, Kashyyyk, we haven't been there for a long time." Okay. So here's some behind the scenes kind of info. This entire episode was more or less lifted from a canceled Clone Wars episode.
Oh.
There was an episode after Disney took over and they canceled Clone Wars and then later brought it back for the final season. They had a bunch of episodes that were written, voice acting was done, pre-production and everything, and most of the kind of first few stages of animation were done, where Yoda meets the Bad Batch. They go to Kashyyyk and they I don't know, fuck some shit up or whatever. And it's pretty much this episode. Like the story was almost directly taken from this.
Oh wow.
To the point with Grumby or Gumbo or whatever the fuck his name is.
Gumbo.
Gungy. Gumbo. That's so good.
Yeah. But yeah, so like this was pretty much entirely lifted from the Clone Wars.
Okay.
Nice.
But that is not canon because it never came out, but it's semi-canon because that's what they were referencing. Actually, no, I don't think
they've been there before.
Yeah, I don't think
also said
Gungi was in that. I don't think Gungi was in that episode.
Things like they had an alliance with the Wookiees before, and that's just like the Republic with the clones. So, I think he was playing along the lines of like, referencing that the Bad Batch was there before, but also that the fact that just the clones had been there and that they had an alliance before.
Yeah, because the clones went back and helped them fight the Trandoshans because they generally enslave Wookiees and like to hunt them.
Good sport.
That's why they all have fur. All the Trandoshans, part of their decor is Wookiee.
Oh yeah,
Wookiee pelts.
In fact, you saw one of them actually had a Wookiee pelt on in this episode. Yeah, I was like, yes, I love
it. Fix makes it Darth Maul. I'll be done with that.
Hell yeah. Now, would you want
there's one
Clone Wars Darth Maul, or would you want Episode 1 Darth Maul?
Episode 1.
Mm.
Give me the ability where he sits down and meditates.
I think I do Clone Wars once he gets the friggin' Clone Wars with the spider legs.
Yes.
Yeah,
that would be cool.
Yep.
I just want to have a picture of him sitting down and just waiting, and then like obviously Sith don't meditate, but this guy was one of those.
No, they pace.
Oh yeah, I mean pace, I guess maybe, but I would love to have him just sit down and have the blade in his hand, just like waiting, like okay,
yeah. Or
there's so many cool poses you could do.
Yeah, or you get actually, yeah, it's Mafex, so they'll come up with 500,000 accessories, so you can interchange the spider legs as well. But no, you do
The deluxe pack.
yeah,
Yeah,
you do
because
the
it gets cut
solo
in half.
para.
You could just pull it off. Do
Torso movement.
you know what? I can't. No, I have no idea who made it. But when I was younger, I had a figure of Darth Maul from Episode 1, and there were magnets holding it together, so you could just pull the legs off.
They loved fucking magnets in the
Oh, man.
early 2000s for Star Wars toys, man. They had magnets in their hands, and the lightsaber hilts were metal,
Yeah.
so that you could hold it like 2 millimeters away from their hand, and if you let go, sometimes the magnets would then attach to it, but most of the time it would just fucking fall on the ground because it was just a tiny ass like fridge magnet that wasn't even that strong.
Do you remember that? But I remember there's like tiny iron particles. Sometimes if I'd like use it somewhere, I would just collect them.
Yeah,
Because you know that
and
happens
also all
with
the
magnet.
paint came off, and because it was
Uh.
metal, the little tiny fucking tab that the lightsaber, the actual blade, would always break off, so they would never
Ah.
actually have the actual fucking.
Yeah.
That's the worst. It's the worst.
And they
Yeah.
came with the little communicator chip that they would stand on that had a little RFID, and then you could buy the
Yes.
communicator, and they would say voice lines from the movies, and they sounded like garbled
I had
ass.
that. Yeah,
Me too.
I had that communicator. Oh, I love
Yeah.
that. Good memories.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even own Star Wars at that point.
I had a shitload. I had
I was into Transformers at that time.
Oh yeah, I had like the Slave One. I had like the Naboo Starfighter. I had the speeders from Episode 2 that they had like rubber on the front ends, and you could crash them, and then they would explode, and then they would stick in.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nerding out. That's what we like to do here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Star Wars is just
Nate,
so
are you
big.
drinking
There's, like,
anything,
an
Nathan,
infinite-
today?
Well, I'm nearly
You got a
finished
Blue
it
Moon.
already, I'm afraid. No, but it is blue.
Oh.
It is from Kona Brewing in Hawaii.
Ah,
It is their Big Wave Golden Ale. It's kind of hard to see because
Ooh.
it's so bright. There we
Yeah.
go.
Wait, you
My
got
friend
it from
brought
Hawaii?
back from Hawaii. This is actually
Nice.
from Hawaii. My friend,
nice.
he has a house there, and so he came back, and it's a Christmas gift.
Your friend from China didn't make it?
That is the friend. Like
Oh, so
the
he
friend
went to Hawaii?
who's in China. So before he left, his family has a house in Hawaii.
They're two different
So they go
countries,
there
there,
for
Nathan.
Christmas. No, so he went to Hawaii for Christmas
Okay.
with his family. Came
And
back.
then he's like,
was
"Fuck
here
it, I'm
for a
gonna
little
buy a
bit.
house."
So he
Oh,
was able
okay.
to get out of here in the winter with the storm and
Yeah.
everything.
Oh,
Wow.
I think he just avoided it.
Mm.
But yeah, he managed to go out, come back for a little bit, and then go off to China. But this is one thing he brought me back. He brought me back a 6-pack of these, and I like them a lot. So
Nice.
also the bottle's pretty cool. They've got like little. You can't see it really here, but do you see the bumps?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's the islands of Hawaii.
Oh nice.
Yeah. So it's a nice little thing. Elvin, I saw you holding a bottle. I know it's not
Oh.
alcoholic, but I'm curious.
It's a 7-Eleven's finest.
Ooh.
It
Ooh.
is raspberry iced tea. It's my favorite
Ooh.
iced tea.
Oh
Do you
yeah.
prefer that over like the what's it called, pure tea?
Arizona?
Like the,
Arizona?
yeah, well, just the other tea brands. You prefer the 7-Eleven one?
Lipton was good. I like this because it's not as sugary as the other ones.
Mm.
And before this, I used to love Arizona iced tea. The
Mhm.
tall boy cans.
Yep.
Those are like
No, those
this-
aren't tall boys. Those are fucking
giant
like
boys.
Hulk
okay?
Hogan
We'll call-
cans.
giant boys. I used
Those
to
are-
find
those
them
are-
only in the US.
Those are tall boys for Shaq.
Hulk sized.
They're only available in the US for the longest time until maybe about 5 years ago they started bringing it over the other side. So I used to like them, but they are way too sugary compared to these guys.
Yeah.
So yeah,
they
these guys are good.
they make a. I've only managed to find in the States. It's called it's the Southern Sweet Tea.
Mm.
And it's like iced tea. Well, it is iced tea, but instead of sweetened with sugar, and in Canada, most of our iced tea is sweetened with lemon.
All of them, yeah.
Like lemon and sugar.
Yeah.
Yeah, all of them. But the Southern Sweet Tea is just sweetened with honey, and so it
Mhm.
adds a little nice flavor to it. And I love those. I would just anytime I had someone or a family member go down to the States, they're like, please pick up one of those big, like
Yeah.
what do they call it, a gallon, like
flat-
the 4-liter
oh,
jugs
yeah,
of
yeah.
it. Yeah, just
big
ask them to pick one up and bring it back for me.
Yeah.
You want to know what's fucked about inflation? You
I
know
haven't
how
had
the
Arizona
Arizona
in a
iced
while.
teas?
I highly
They-
recommend it for night shifts, Darth.
Yeah. The Arizona iced teas, they always had 99 cents on the fucking label and the
Mhm.
They have to
logo
get
that was
rid of them.
lasered onto the can. They
Yeah.
upped the price of them. They're no longer 99 cents.
Did
That
they
was what I
That's how
thought
you
so.
know the world
unlaser
is
it?
ending. No, they just took it off. They
Yeah.
they like changed the design.
That
It
was
no
the
longer
appeal
says
for
99
Arizona.
cents.
That was the appeal.
Yeah.
You don't have to put your hand up. You can just talk away.
No, I'm trying to get the camera to work again.
He's trying to get it to focus. He's forcing it to focus.
Yeah, with Canada. Canada, eh?
We are Canada.
We are very-
I'm
I'm
drinking
very
a
close to
Pilsner
the-
for Christ's sake.
I'm very
Yeah.
close to the border, though, Darth. I'm literally a stone's throw away.
Yeah, I think 90% of the population is within. Gosh, I forgot how many kilometers.
With a stone
but-
throws away.
because
You,
it's,
you
it
forget
gets
about
cold.
the Edmontonians?
They
They
don't
don't
count.
Oh, wow! clip that, Justin.
All right, 2634.
My sincere apologies to AI Collectibles, who is from Edmonton. I
He
did not
knows
say
what
it,
he
these
did.
two said it.
Oh, 5-hour energy. Yeah,
Oh,
Darth,
yeah, yeah.
5-hour
It's
energy.
pretty, 5-hour energy is pretty big.
When I used to work at Starbucks and I had those early like 4 a.m. shifts, and this was before I had a car, so I had to bike there to work at 4 a.m. I would the night before I'd buy one of those 5-hour energies, and the very first thing I'd do when waking up is I'd down it.
Yeah.
Just down like the little thing, just have it quickly and
things-
just do everything else.
Are so fucking bad for you.
Yeah.
I have drank many of
You're
those.
crushing Darth's heart.
Though, dude, those things, they are like, I've used those a lot, like when we're like on tours and stuff. Like, okay, it's your turn to drive. You have, and because it's Canada, so like, you know, you're driving 9 hours to the next town to play a show, and it's just like, all right, so, and you've been up for fucking 5 days straight, and you're just like, all right, you didn't drink last night, so you drive. And then you drive 9 hours at like 4 a.m. You start, and then you go to 7-Eleven, you eat a bunch of taquitos, try not to shit yourself, and then you drink a 5-hour energy drink, and somehow I'm not dead.
Oh gosh.
If I drank the 5-hour energy, I think my heart would just stick out of my chest.
Yeah, that's the point. And it's the adrenaline that you go, oh god, oh god, oh god. That's what's keeping you alive. It has nothing to do with the caffeine.
Yeah.
It's the fucking methamphetamines they put in there.
I should have drank that before I watched this episode. But it's okay.
No, this episode was fun.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to go through the whole detail of it all. I mean, I just want to talk about some of the points.
Mhm.
So they obviously go and drop this dude off, this hairy dude off, Wookiee dude.
Sorry, dude.
Gungi or Gumbo, whatever you want to call it. And by the way, green lightsaber. Like it or
Yeah.
don't like it for him.
Sure.
Who
Do you
had
know what?
green lightsabers in Star Wars history?
Sentinels.
Sorry?
Sentinels.
Yeah, Sentinels.
No,
Hey,
like
yeah, hey. Old Republic reference.
Yoda had
Speaking
one,
of Old
right?
Republic, well, so Qui-Gon, Luke, Yoda, Kit Fisto, Plo Koon in the beginning, but then he had the yellow one, which was canon. I'm trying to think who else had a green
Grogu?
lightsaber.
He doesn't have
No,
one
that's
yet.
Yoda's lightsaber.
Yeah,
But it's
that's not really his.
But they modified it for him, did they not?
Yeah,
No,
but
that-
no.
Gave it to him. He didn't build it. It's not his.
He also declined it, didn't he?
Oh yeah. Block.
I didn't manage to mute myself in time.
It's okay. Who else?
What's the lady with the? It looks like she's got feather hair, like
Oh.
giant.
Not Adi Gallia. Is it Adi Gallia? No.
Let me look her up.
So yeah, I learned so much by doing this show with you guys.
I think it is. No, Adi Gallia's got blue. Was it her apprentice? No. Oh, what's the girl's name? She wears black, green face, little diamonds. Betrayed Ahsoka.
Yes. Yes. Her.
Well, you can look up the name while I do a little spiel here. So if you're new here and you stumbled upon our podcast, our live, do us a favor. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, because the algorithm loves it when people hit like buttons on a channel. It's like, hey, something's going on over there. Let's let other people know about it. So we'll definitely love it. For every show or every episode or every video we drop, if you just click on the little like button, it takes literally a couple seconds for you to do that.
Free.
Yeah, it's free $99.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's the best price ever. It's cheaper than Arizona iced tea.
Yeah. We might give it away in Arizona iced tea.
Yeah. Who knows? If you get you and 10 of your friends, maybe
if we're doing a road show and you happen to notice us coming by
Arizona
street,
Nice Tea,
I will literally buy you.
Has any company ever called themselves Nice Tea? Or is that what Nestea is trying to do?
Quickly before I forget, Darth. Her name is Barris.
Barris.
Yeah,
Barris Satine.
Barris Ophi.
Who's Barris Satine?
There's no Barris. There's a Satine.
No, there's Sabine Wren. Barris Satine.
Satine. Are you talking about Obi-Wan's like?
That is, yeah. Barris Satine is Obi-Wan's side hoe.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say girlfriend, but yeah, I guess
he's a Jedi. He's not allowed to have girlfriends.
Yeah. Well, wasn't that
our friend
early
doesn't
order
even like Jedi's.
Facts. I'm right.
Did you
there
hear about
with
that,
him.
Nathan? Our friend D doesn't like Jedi's.
Yeah, because they're religious zealots.
Can you believe that?
Some Jedi I don't like.
Well, I don't like every Jedi, but
it's seriously. Organized Jediism that I disagree with.
Mace Windu, he's basically the head of
right.
Yeah.
I love. Okay, Samuel L. Jackson, love him, did a great job in Star Wars, but his character Mace Windu, despite how cool elements of his character are, he is one of the reasons the Republic fell. And I don't think anyone can convince me otherwise, and I don't think anyone would want to because it's true. And admittedly. For those of you who don't know, there were Sith artifacts, or was it a Sith temple or space? I think it was Sith artifacts was in or underneath the Jedi Temple on Coruscant, and that influenced some of the decisions that the Council made, and kind of prevented them from seeing and detecting
their mind.
Yeah. And so for Mace Windu, for him being partially in touch with the dark side, not like I don't know if that's the way to put it. What would you call it, Justin?
It was very much like a Taoism sort of thing where it was embracing both sides. And it was like the because it was mostly the his saber form that he, I guess, invented or I guess pioneered at the very least was embracing the dark side that is in you, but then overcoming it and focusing on the light side. So it's not completely rejecting it. And it's also never taught because it's like 90% of the time, if you're not prepared and you're not like, fully got your shit together, you'll just go bad. So it's a super dangerous form and it's never like, it's not allowed to be practiced or learned. Yeah. It's only like a select few. But yeah, he was very much a, I guess kind of like a bad cop. He was kind of crooked in that sentiment, sort of.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it. He's crooked, but he's like trying to do the right, in his mind, what the right thing was.
Yeah. But that therein lies too the issue with the Jedi is they are all self-righteous and think they can do no wrong, but it's that ego and that not naivety but self-righteousness. But also too, and this episode pointed out a lot of interesting things. It didn't go obviously nearly as like heavy and deep as episode 3, but this one was showing like. Or just kind of pointing out like, oh yeah, you know, the Wookiees have had multiple times where they're enslaved, and you know they get enslaved by the Imperials, and then it was just like, wait, they were enslaved during the Republic. The Republic was totally fine with slaves. Wait a minute, what the fuck? and then, and then later too, when they were talking about like, oh yeah, you know, these kids, you know, they didn't get to be kids, and then he's like, we just hope they can, you know, grow up somewhere away from war. And it's just like, fuck, Empire's only been around for a little bit, and this is not all their fault.
So there's technically no war going on. The Empire won.
Yeah.
War's over. By the way,
Peace and order.
speaking of the war that happened before, they said that those tanks were Imperial. The only thing that looked Imperial about it was the symbol of the Empire on the side. They looked like separatist tanks to me.
They were.
Didn't they?
So yeah, that was because all the funding was going towards the Death Star and building up a conscription service. So they repurposed a lot of shit, and like a lot of the walkers were just like the rebellion, the X-wings and all that, and all of the fighters and everything, and the B-wings and all that shit were just like hobbled together parts. But so was the Empire. They just have more money and more resources. So like all the ATSTs, the reason why they look like shit is because they took their pristine, really like the old Republic, not the old Republic, but the ones that the Republic used before, and they just had to like repurpose a bunch of them and fix them up. So that's why they're just like, I mean, this is like explaining the design choices of the 70s, but it makes sense. Like they didn't have all the money in the world, they just had more than the rebellion.
Yeah, that's true. And the other thing I want to quickly mention, did you guys not get any Avatar feelings from this episode?
Oh yeah.
Oh, man. I was wondering whenever you guys mentioned that, the touch the tree. Okay, so I get it why they did that, because Jedi's are supposed to be in tune, right? With
yeah, but the Wookiees did that. The non-Jedi.
Yeah, this is a Wookiee thing. So okay, wait, a couple things. Like there's like Wookiee religion stuff that's been canon forever. They like
the environment and all that, right?
Yeah. Like the
one with nature kind of thing. Zen.
Yeah, like the trees are more a part of the planet than the people that are on it and that kind of thing. I there's a couple things, and I think that this might be, I'm making an early prediction.
Okay.
This might be the thing, the big ooh of this season. So Wrecker, he's just a big fucking hench dude. That's his, and he's big strongman.
Yep.
Hunter, what's his ability? He's stealthy and can knife a dude, and he's tactful.
Yeah,
he's whatever. Right. Smell. He can smell. I forgot about that because they fucking not touched that like at all. He can track. That's his thing, right? Hunter. That's his fucking name, of course. Anyway, tech, super techy. You can figure out robots. And,
self-explanatory.
Yeah. Echo. He can
hear echoes.
Outlier.
Echolocation.
No. He's an outlier because they brought him in. He got adopted.
Yeah, but he got adopted because he became different.
Yeah, but he wasn't
experimented on him.
Yes. Yeah. And then who else are we missing?
Omega.
Omega. The only thing we know about her is that she was the only other unaltered clone other than Jango Fett. So they're wanting her so that the Kaminoans are wanting her so that they can take her DNA and fucking make a better clone army. Or are we going to figure out later in this season that she's actually force sensitive and they are wanting her because she is actually the catalyst to cloning Palpatine? Because they are constantly wanting to have a force sensitive clone. She was touching the tree a lot with Jedi, and also, and this was a point of that annoyed us, that she just fucks off and finds trouble, or is she sensing shit in the force and is going, there's a disturbance over here, and that's why she always finds stuff. And is that also why she is like seemingly naive and headstrong, but it always works out, and it's not so much of her just being like, we can do it, but she's actually like foreseeing the future, and the force is telling her, get tech to drive the fucking ship and it'll all be fine.
I think Grogu is more likely to be the source of like the force.
Yes, but that's the big thing
from...
in the last episode is she fucking dies and then they can't clone her. But maybe
my gosh, okay, that's a little dark. That'd be the darkest.
Work out.
Imagine if Disney actively killed off a child, like the child's protagonist at the end.
You know what I noticed in this episode, actually, speaking of Disneyisms? Since this show isn't on TV, they don't have to hide things. There's a lot of stuff that got cut from the Clone Wars, like little clips, and like you see certain scenes that are like the angle changes super quickly. In this episode, you see dudes just get shot right in the chest. And normally Disney cuts away right before you see the impact. Or if somebody gets punched in the face, they cut right before you see the actual impact. You see it fully on this because it's on their service and they don't fucking answer to anybody. And it's not just droids. Normally they only show the hits on droids. You saw Trandoshans getting fucking murked this entire episode. And I was like, I don't think we've really seen the blaster hits before.
Actually, that's true. Because like usually if you'll see, I don't know, like usually not Obi-Wan, but like Anakin punched a living person, you see him go for the punch, and right before he hits, it cuts to like the wall, and you see the person hit the wall.
Yeah,
exactly, yeah. But in this one, you see a lot of, and every Trandoshan during the
things, right?
Yeah, every Trandoshan you would see like the blaster him shoot, the blaster bolt hit, and then the burn mark and him fall over dead. And I'm like, they haven't really shown that.
I kind of like it.
Speaking of the Trandoshans, this is like we've seen them before in the Clone Wars, but I really love
Boba Fett
seeing we've seen them in Boba Fett. But I really love seeing that dark side of the Trandoshan. Well, I guess most of the Trandoshans are like us, where it's I hunt Wookiees. I'm wearing a Wookiee pelt. 100 Wookiee pelts to whoever finds a Jedi, which is 100 dead skinned Wookiees. Imagine if Chewbacca was just like decapitated and skinned. Like it's actually kind of dark. This episode, while I don't think it hit as hard as episode 3, it still touched on some stuff that I'd say puts it back into the realm of being slightly more mature, touches on slavery, talks briefly about genocide. We go over,
all the lighthearted topics like genocide, slavery, race war,
environmental impact.
No,
small stuff.
Tyranny, dictatorships.
This is gonna sound a little crazy, but I still don't think that's as heavy hitting as episode 3, because this episode 3 is a lot more. It feels more personal. It's a personal journey. And this episode, we've seen slavery in Star Wars. We've seen Wookiees being hunted before, or at least talked about being hunted. So it's not as much of a surprise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the episode 3 was much more of an essay. I think this one absolutely did still have a slightly more serious tone in general, and again it ended on them watching Gungi.
I've
got it. Gungi. whatever. And Omega, talking or praying to the tree or whatever, and then the elder of that tribe on Kashyyyk and Hunter just being like, they're just kids. Like, fuck, I want them to be able to be fucking kids. And then they're both just like, well, sucks for them. They live in this world, and they're just like, okay. And then credits, and I'm just like, fucking hell.
Well, when he said that, I was like, well, maybe you should try to be a parent first before you
They don't have the option.
Well, he can lock her up or tell her not to go anywhere. He's a horrible parent
Also,
right now.
In fairness, what does he know about parents? Like, he didn't grow up with them.
No,
He's a
but
clone
he's
that
had a
had
whole season to
accelerated
figure
growth.
it out.
They're
That's kinda
both the
hard to
same
do.
age. They're both like fucking 5 years old.
But one is actually physically an adult.
So
The physical nature does matter.
they're both equally as
We-
mature mentally. They're
We've all
both like
seen.
10
But
years old.
one
or
has
whatever.
more experience.
We've
Not
all seen
really,
Benjamin
they
Button.
both-
We know what happens.
Yeah.
Not
She
really.
knows- She knows nothing about how to fight until they came along.
So they both have
Just
the
sort of a-
same amount of world experience.
No, they do not. They do not have the same amount of world. One
I
was
mean, like length, time wise.
well, they're the same age, but the
Yeah.
experience in the open world matters massively.
Not really, because all they did was follow orders and go shoot people, and then they came back and then went to go shoot more people, and then came
Yeah, and
back.
they alert. He even said it to the Gungi guy. Remember, he's like, "Hey, we're not like those people. We changed. We had the experience of the other side, and we are no longer part of the other side." So there was
He just said we didn't follow that order.
so yeah, they
Yeah.
evolved from the rest
Sure,
of the
yeah,
group.
yeah.
Yeah, but I
So-
don't think he's ever had any opportunity to learn about being a parent. Like, sure,
Yeah,
you're with
that's what I mean, like,
Omega, but
well, he
all
had
they
a whole
know-
season from last season to learn to be maybe not a parent, but maybe a more of a mentor, right?
Sure, and that's why they're
he's
not.
still making those stupid mistakes where he just lets her do whatever she wants.
Yeah,
So I was just like, what kind of mentor are
Yeah.
you? You want her to
Okay,
have
yeah,
a good
I
life,
get
but maybe
that.
you should be a better mentor, right?
Sure.
So yeah, I mean, the ending was abrupt. It really, I
It
thought
was.
it was like, I thought it was going to be a little bit more longer, right? I was like,
yeah,
oh,
I thought
credits? What?
yeah. No, it was
After
a
a nice
very,
speech-
very abrupt end.
Yeah, it was weird.
I thought
and
it was
it
going to
was
be kind of
only-
like the Mandalorian that shows them just flying away out from the situation and the planet,
Yeah.
and then off to the next adventure.
So is
Yeah.
Gungi
Maybe they
ever
left it like
staying with
this.
those guys?
No,
I
I
doubt
think he
it.
because the whole point of them going there is so Gungi can be with other Wookiees, be with his people.
Yeah,
So he's staying. there.
But I'll be
Yeah.
honest, it set it up in a way that made me think maybe he's gonna be either later on in the season or he'll pop up now and then, just because he is a Jedi. We've seen him before. This
Mhm.
does not feel like it's gonna be his send off episode where we don't, this is the last of him. And it's not like a
Do you
situation where
guys
it's
want
super
to see him
peaceful.
in live action,
sure,
like in the Mandalorian?
Wookiee with a
or
lightsaber.
sure.
That'd be
They did
interesting.
such
That'd
a
be
good
interesting.
job. One of the only good things that came out of Boba Fett was Black Chrysanthemum. They did a
Yep.
Yeah.
fucking awesome job of
Badass.
bringing Black Chrysanthemum and making him a fucking behemoth. So like,
Yep.
That'd be pretty cool. See Gungi.
That would be. See a Wookiee. It would be hard because Wookiees moving around because of the suit, the costume, they're not very mobile. But then in
I've seen Harry and the Hendricksons. They can be agile as fuck.
Oh my god, I forgot about that shirt till you mentioned it right now. Holy jeez.
My
Actually, do you know what? You're
parents'
right.
Friends had a like suit, like a prop. I think was it
Wow.
from Harry and the Hendricksons, or did they just have a house that was themed and I watched it there? I don't remember. Anyway.
Do you know what? Not just that, but Star Wars, the Christmas special. We see Chewbacca's
Oh
family.
yeah,
Yeah, we can see them do a lot of things moving around.
yeah, and you get like
We
10
could-
minutes of just non-subtitled Wookiee talk.
Yeah, and they don't even look like Wookiees, man. They
Oh
look
no,
like
they don't.
God. It looked like Bigfoot. Oh gosh, I
The
should.
small one looked like Alf.
That,
Remember Alf?
but... Yeah.
Yeah,
This
And
also
it's
gave
funny.
me that the vibes from the New Hope, where they go to the little
Endor.
guys. What are they called?
Endor, Ewoks.
Yeah, Ewoks. It kind of gave me those vibes with
Well,
the layout of the place where they live and everything.
it's interesting you bring that up because originally, it was supposed to be, Wookiees that fought against the Empire in that. They were
Oh.
supposed to be on Kashyyyk, and that was supposed to be the thing. But then they changed it near the end because they were like, Wookiees are around technology, and we actually want it to be a primitive species that is, it's an underdog tale as opposed to these giant behemoths that can rip a fucking guy's arm off. So
Yeah.
then they made them teddy bears because then they also could sell more merch.
Clever.
And then made them speak Tagalog.
Yeah, they did. No,
My-
straight up, they
My
they
friend
speak
of mine,
Tagalog.
he does the best impressions of the Ewoks.
Does he
The
speak
whole
Tagalog?
I cannot stop laughing when he does these impressions.
Is he Filipino?
No, he's not.
Oh,
So I watched it. I showed that episode 6 to someone who had never seen it before, and I was like,
Mhm.
just so you know, like these characters are going to speak Tagalog. I know
Yeah.
you speak Tagalog. Can you translate Ewok
Yeah.
for me? And they did. Like some words,
Seriously?
yeah,
Shut
some
up.
words are like
I thought he was just making fun of them.
no,
No,
seriously. So like
straight up.
some words are like kind of garbled, fakeish, but like
Mhm.
they say things. You're like, okay, they're looking at C-3PO and they're calling him gold, and like golden and shiny and beautiful, things like that.
Yeah.
Like Maganda, beautiful.
What?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's
I'm gonna
pretty
have to
cool.
have my friend watch this with me. I have a Filipino friend. He's super nice. But
And then you could be like, hey man, you speak Ewok. Can you translate this for me?
that's so dope. That's so dope.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Oh.
Another thing too, a little side thing, the spider creatures,
Mm-hmm.
those were originally from Knights of the Old Republic.
Where are they from in that game?
Those are on Ilum, I think. They're on one of the end, or actually, I think they're all over the place. I think you fight
I'm
them
sure I'll recognize them.
fucking everywhere.
Do you know what? This is not the first time we see creatures like that.
The whole
No,
galaxy is
it's-
just filled with spiders of every different size.
There are. I would be so scared.
There was so many.
Like Mandalorian
also-
in the ice planet.
Oh, the ice spiders. Okay, when the main Trandoshan he goes to fight Gungi, and then the spiders like come down and Gungi's got the lightsaber and they're like, "Hey, fucking turn that shit off!"
Yeah.
And that's a fire sword that kills things. And he's like, "Oh, okay, sorry." And they're like, "All right, anyway." And then I thought it was going to be this like weird thing, but then they just fucking shit rock him and then tie him up. And then they start pulling him up and he's just screaming in just terror.
And the
and I
music
thought-
too.
Oh, yeah.
The music of that stage was all dark and menacing. I
Yeah.
loved it.
And then Gungi is like looking at him and I'm like, don't save him. And then he's just like, all right, see you later, fucker. And then leaves.
Backflips out of the tree and out.
Yeah. And then he just leaves him for dead. And he's just like, oh, wow. Oh, that
First of all,
sucks. Anyway.
what's the name of that animal?
The Trandoshans.
He's an idiot. He circled
sure.
a fire ball around himself.
Mhm.
He
Oh,
just
yeah.
went in a circle and just trapped himself in there. I was like, how stupid
Yeah.
are you? How are you getting out?
You've seen Lion King. You just jump through it. You do a menacing thing, and then and then you get killed
like,
by the
what an
king of the
idiot.
jungle.
Who
And then
does
all
that?
your hyena friends come in, and then Whoopi Goldberg fucks you up.
Also, you guys have seen Thunderbirds, right?
Yeah.
If there's a fire, you just create a bigger fire next to it, and it'll go out.
Yeah, exactly.
There we go. Boom.
It's physics.
Okay. There's so many firefighters are watching this. Like, you guys are such idiots.
Yeah, fight fire with fire. That's the rule. Everyone knows
You're
it.
such morons.
Yeah, no, that's a saying.
Yes. Please don't ever
It's
go
saying
camping
for a
in the
reason.
summer.
Oh no, a forest fire. I'll put it out. I guess.
Don't worry, I brought my flamethrower.
My boring lab from Elon Musk
Yeah.
flamethrower.
I'll make a bigger fire to intimidate the small fire.
You
Oh my gosh.
it's
You know-
only if ever as a society knew about that.
Yeah.
Gosh, you know, my dad lit the hedge on fire with a flamethrower once.
Go on.
Yeah, so it
This is
had
after
rained.
talks now.
Well, it's a mix. Flamethrowers. I'm still, you know,
Yeah, it's still topical.
flamethrowers were in the episode.
Yeah.
So it had rained the night before. So he thought like, oh, you know, the inside, like the hedge is probably all wet. I'm gonna kill some weeds at the bottom of the hedge with this giant. I think it was called like the dragon or something like that. But it's essentially just a propane tank
A
attached
propane
to.
torch.
Yeah. And it was a
hillbilly
pretty big
flamethrower.
one too. Yeah. And so he's killing these weeds, and some flames grow up, and the inside of the hedge is all like just dry as a
Dry.
bone. Whole hedge goes up, and all. So I hear I'm upstairs in my room. My dad starts ringing the doorbell. I hear it going off. I'm like, what the hell? And it's going off like not just once or twice, like ding 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 ding. So
Morse code.
so I just. So I go downstairs, not knowing what's going on, just like, what the hell is he doing this? I open the door and I just see him with the hose battling this massive fire.
Oh my god.
And he's yelling, like, get everyone out of the house. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So go and get everyone
God.
to get out of the house. We move the car, and
You go to
eventually
the
gets put
basement,
out.
grab your armory of super soakers.
Now is my
Damn.
time. My time is going.
Finally.
But yeah. So gosh, what else about this episode can we say?
There was a lot of like Vietnam era movies and like Predator movies that I got a lot of vibes
Oh
from. a bunch
man,
of parts
you
in
said
this
Predator.
episode.
I hear you on that one right there. Yeah.
Predator, there was tons of Predator
Yes.
vibes and like a lot of like Vietnam movies and stuff. Obviously, it's still a kids show, so they're not going like full Vietnam War, but there's a lot of like 70s war movies that it was like that
Okay.
scene is definitely inspired by that.
For a village, I thought they were very thin on people.
Yeah, because
There's like
they've
5 people there.
because
not
they've
so
been
much
raided by Trandoshans.
No, but I would have expected them to have more. It's a whole planet.
No,
Well-
this is just one tribe, one village.
Yeah, there's tons of different village. I feel like this was just like the remains of a couple of them, and we saw the village being destroyed.
But they
so
all
these
got
are just a couple.
massacred already.
Yeah, they did mention genocide a couple times throughout the episode. So
Yeah.
I think that was just.
By the
supposed
way,
to be
that's pretty deep for a
survivors.
cartoon to mention genocide.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 You got to teach these kids about genocide.
I don't know about that.
Imagine your parent. You don't know really what the show's about. You don't really watch Star Wars. You're like,
That's
oh, there's this
pretty deep.
show for my kid, and you're just listening to it. And at one moment, they're talking about genocide and slavery. You're like, what the heck? Thought this show was about laser swords.
It's
Speaking of
pretty
which, I loved that they actually mentioned laser swords in this. They didn't, the clones didn't call it a lightsaber. They just look at it and they're like, oh, he's got a laser sword. We have to be careful, which kind of harkens back to, the original trilogy where a lot of them called them laser
Mhm.
swords, which I love that. You don't see that very much in Star Wars. Everyone just suddenly knows the name of them.
Anakin was the last person who
Yeah.
called it a laser sword, I think.
Yeah, you're right. And in episode 1,
Speaking of Darths, back to something that Darth Gutierrez said, that question that all three of us are in Canada. I don't know if it'll show it on the can, but on the box of beer I bought, it's a enter to win one of 3 fucking snowmobiles.
Oh my god.
Oh yes, we are.
We're in
fact
Canada, baby.
Yeah. And I bought it because I was like, "Fuck it, I'll enter to win a snowmobile."
Well, I mean, we might do some traveling. I would assume I have some plans in the works. I haven't
I'll
revealed
come
it
with
to-
on my new snowmobile.
I haven't revealed it to you guys yet, but we have another channel in the works
Oh.
that's going to be very, very fun, I think. It's not toy related, but it's adventure related.
We're going
And-
to Edmonton.
Yeah.
How did you know? How
What's
did you
up,
know?
guys? We flew out 5 of our employees up to Edmonton, and the last person to die loses or wins.
No, the last person to have fun
To
loses.
die
The last
Last
person,
person to
actually
survive
enjoy it.
wins $1 million.
The last person to die wins. Or
I
no,
don't
you said
know.
last person to die loses. If you go to Edmonton, just
Pretty
See who
bleak there.
survives
Pretty
the
bleak.
longest. Yeah.
I do want to apologize to all my Edmonton family that are gonna watch this.
They know.
We're just joking.
They
I prefer
know. They
Calgary.
live there.
Calgary's got what? They're closer to the dinosaurs, and they
They're
also
close-
have like
What?
a
Don't
rodeo.
talk about old people like that.
No, like that.
Oh man, I actually went to Drumheller. It's actually pretty cool.
Oh yeah, it
Yeah.
looks.
It's like actually, it's like when you're getting into the, because you have to kind of go in weaving into the canyon areas, and as you're getting to the giant museum that they have there, which is by the way, amazing. It's insane, that museum. You actually feel like you're going back in time because it's all these sediment and like colored different layers of rocks that
It's
you're
called
going
rocks
through,
of
right?
color.
It's the stratigraphy.
Yeah, there you go. See, I knew there's a scientific word for that. But yeah, so it's really cool. Have you guys been to Drumheller?
I
Yeah,
have.
I think so.
I did a course there. No, not a university level, more like a daycare course,
Ooh.
where I got a bucket hat with a dinosaur on it, and we got
Cool.
to go out with instructions to look for the fossil that was like somewhere near the museum, because there's like still fossils that are just out there, and
Oh yeah, they're everywhere.
yeah.
And that's how
Hey.
Nathan made his millions. He discovered the Albertosaurus.
That is a real dinosaur.
It is.
Well, maybe one of these days we'll actually go and hire and do an actual excavation. Nathan,
That'd
would
be
you
pretty cool.
Would you be interested, Nathan, if I hired somebody and took us to Drumheller?
Do you know a guy?
Well,
Oh,
it's
we can
more
give
that-
it a call.
you need some paperwork done for the government to do an excavation.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I know some people.
Just pretend it's another country. Just don't say the location. Don't say where we are. Just be like,
Yeah.
we could be here.
We just show up in
could-
the middle of the night in Drumheller with some buckets and some axe. Let's
Yep.
get to work, boys.
Now this is how we're
We
gonna break
broke
into the
into the
museum.
Drumheller
Yeah.
theme museum. Last
Don't
person
mind
to
us.
get the last person to get arrested wins.
Yes. What is there anything else you want to wrap up from this?
Well, we
This show.
haven't given it a score yet.
No, I said wrap up. I meant in terms of like your last kind of things before you give the score.
Oh, a quick thing. I don't know about you guys, but as soon as at the very start of the episode when they mentioned smugglers, I was like, okay, the episode's going to be about slaves. Because in Star Wars, nearly like 99% of the time when we're talking about smuggling, Star Wars, they like to give like, a lesson, usually Star Wars episodes like to give a little lesson here and there. And slavery is always a hint smuggling's always a hint. They're going to look at slavery and they're going to look at people smuggling slaves. And even if they don't directly do that, they might talk about like the Kessel mines. And when they're talking about smuggling spice and they make that sound all cool, then they are like, oh, just so you know, the people that mined the spice were slaves. Most of them were Wookiees, but which is why so many Wookiees are not on Kashyyyk later on. But yeah, so it is a bit predictable for parts of the episodes, but specifically the beginning. But I didn't have any big issues with it. Besides that, it was still a good episode.
Yeah, I thought.
Yeah.
So, what did you give it again, Nathan? Your score?
Oh, before I give it a
Whoa,
score,
whoa!
We've
whoa,
got
whoa.
a guy.
We got a guy already here.
we have a
Garth
way
is our
in to
guy.
do the
We've
robbery.
got a way in. And
Did you
we
watch
can
Night of
just
the
spike his
Museum,
5-hour energy drinks with some Dramamol, and then
I will
he'll
give you a case of energy
mysteriously fall asleep.
if we could come visit you at night and tour the museum. We'll pay, of course.
Alvin,
We'll
you know
actually
that
come down to your museum.
they don't come to life, all the exhibits, right?
You shut
No,
up,
that is,
Nathan.
dude.
I don't want to hear that nonsense out of you.
We'll never know until we go and check it ourselves.
Yeah, and the golden tablet. I'm sure it's somewhere there that brings everything to
Of
life.
Akhman Ra. I
Yep.
think that's
Yes,
his name.
look at you remembering that.
I don't even know if he's real. I think they made him
No,
up.
it's not real. It's just made up.
Imhotep.
Well, Imhotep's real.
That's
Isn't
Isn't
that
that what they
true?
chanted
Don't
in
say
the
that. That's
morning?
creepy. I hate that.
Well, Akhman Ra is no. He
Okay.
Whoa, what was that?
He's gonna get banned in a second.
Imhotep was real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shut up. Okay,
He
what'd
was.
you
Don't
give
be
it-
scared.
what'd you give it out of 10? This episode.
I'm gonna give it an 8. But I'll be honest, it wasn't really my cup of tea. I didn't get super excited during the episode.
For not a cup of tea, that's a pretty high score.
It is because they didn't screw up.
Mhm.
They did. It was a good episode. It's just there were some elements that I felt were missing. That personal element, sure, that they reintroduced a character we've seen before, which I really like because they did in a good way. They talked about some bigger issues. This was not a filler episode.
Mhm.
It's left some stuff down the road that we can potentially
Mhm.
know. The only complaints I had was one at the start of it. I was kind of guessed what was going to happen, which wasn't
Mhm.
a big deal, but I like being tricked occasionally.
Mhm.
Okay.
The other thing, now don't ball me out too much for this. I did not like how the Wookiees looked.
Mm.
I thought that
Fur
their heads
is
looked
tough.
like plastic.
Yeah, fur is tough in that stylized kind of. It's almost like claymation. Like the hair in the Clone Wars took me a long time to get used to.
Yeah.
The same thing. But Obi-Wan's beard, I thought for the first 4 seasons, I was like, this guy looks fucking dumb. And like anytime somebody had hair, it was just everyone looked like a Ken doll. But that's just the kind of claymation animation stylized sort of thing. So when an entire creature is made out of that fur that already kind of looks weird, yeah.
Yeah. So I get that's the style that they do. You're right. But it was kind of off-putting for me to see so many of them looking like they just I don't know, they look like Lego minifigures at times.
Yeah.
It's just a plastic straight mold.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the art style, but that's one of the reasons why it's an 8 out of 10 for me. I know it's kind of hard to avoid that.
Okay. What say you, Justin?
Yeah, I was gonna also give it an 8. I thought it was probably it was super action packed. And though it obviously wasn't nearly as impactful or heavy as the third episode, I thought it was a good. It was still, it had a lot to say, and it wasn't pandering, and it didn't downplay any of the serious issues that they talked about. It was yes, that's the point. And yeah, I thought it touched on a bunch of mature-ish subjects and flushed out a bit more of the. Anytime that a Star Wars property goes into kind of the seedier, more underworld or underbelly of the Star Wars universe, as opposed to the Jedi are good and they're the purveyors of peace and love and happiness and everything's okay and they beat the bad guy. They're just like, this race enslaves this race, and the Imperials just came in and fucking firebombed everything and murdered everybody, and now this guy's on the run because they killed everyone in his religion, and these guys are on the run because they're clones that is now being phased out by real people, and everyone wants them dead, and this and then it's just like, all right, fuck. So it was fun. The beginning with Omega stuff, they're kind of going by the same tropes of why she was annoying in the first season. But I liked this episode more than most of the episodes in the first season. And I don't know if I like this. I'm going to take episode 3 out. Because that one I think stands on its own. It's
Yeah,
just like a
absolutely.
phenomenal story. Like you can watch that, and it's a contained story. And that's what I was saying. It was like an essay because it's just like here's somebody's thesis on like Star Wars vets. And I think I like this episode more than I did the first two, or they're very similar. And I think it, even though it had an abrupt end, but I think that is probably going to be okay next week because it will probably pick up right where this one left off. Because this episode felt like they were just like, fuck it. I guess we have to make this two episodes.
Little detour, and then they were right back to dropping off the SIM cards, right?
Yeah. I think like next episode, next episode's gonna feel like a part 1, part 2 kind of thing. Because this was 25 minutes, and like the end again was so just
so
like
abrupt, and
then the credits, and I was like, oh fuck, there's Dave Filoni. Okay, I guess we're done.
So let me ask you a quick question: would you change this episode's score or the next episode's score if it's not a continuation? If it's just suddenly a different adventure?
No.
Okay.
I mean, I don't mind the adventures and exploring these planets.
Yeah,
that to me is fine. It's the way you go about it, right?
That's been the whole premise of the show. It's just like it's Star Wars A-Team. Like that's all that the Bad Batch is, and all it is just like here's this ragtag group of mercenaries.
Oh yeah. No, that is what is. I just mean like, would you be upset if instead of potentially the next episode being a continuation, suddenly this episode, the ending, that's it. That's just, it is an abrupt ending, period. And then we just all of a sudden they're back at the bar.
No, I don't think it'll change my opinion on this episode. I think the main problem with this episode was the editing, because there was clearly some scenes that were just cut. Because there was some abrupt, like there was a bunch of abrupt things throughout the episode. Like when they started bitching about, like at the end, when they're like, the fire, it's getting too big. Call all the Wookiees. Yeah. And then it just cuts to everything being okay. And I was just like, oh, we're not going to, okay, sure. Okay.
I wasn't sure if the fire was out then. I was like, are they digging far away to like stop the fire?
Yeah. There was a bunch of times where they were just like, fuck. And then it was just like cut to another thing. And it was like, I guess they dealt with it. So, yeah.
I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. I thought, although it was weird and kind of annoying about Omega doing these things, I kind of get it because they have to find, I mean, I know they could have, if they took the time, they could have found a reason to find this character and save this character without her doing her little disappearing tricks. I like the fact that they went to this planet. I like the fact, I mean, for me, this was first time seeing him, a Wookiee Jedi. I'd never seen that. You guys have seen it. For me, it was nice to see that. It made it even cooler that you guys said that he's actually from the older show. So I can only imagine how people who watched the Clone Wars saw him again on this show go, yeah, he's back. Or I remember that character. They'd be excited to hear about that. So that's cool. I mean, I have to give props to them for doing that. I honestly thought the abrupt ending was really bad for it. I would have loved to see a little bit more of the lore,
a little more closure.
Yeah, exactly. Something nice, like maybe why him coming back to this tribe is important, or how can he galvanate, maybe help the rest of the planet of Wookiees, something like that. But yeah, overall, it wasn't a horrible episode or anything like that. It was better than a filler. It's maybe this kind of helps them set the course for the next few episodes.
It felt like it started on a trajectory with this episode. The last two episodes, especially.
I could also see the word getting out that these guys are helping Wookiees. I mean, somebody needs to get the word out that these guys are still around the galaxy. So maybe they're going to get more heat in the next episode or so.
Well, that's what I thought would happen at the end of this episode, was like, it's clearly like, these are the Bad Batch, and also they have a fucking Jedi with them. I thought we would get Rampart or no, wait, Rampart, not a thing. Or wait, is Rampart still alive?
Rampart?
Sideburns.
I don't know. Can't remember.
The like main villain of hold on.
Rampart. I'm just gonna look up Star Wars Sideburns.
Oh wait, no, sorry. Rampart was the who's Sideburns? So Rampart was the Imperial guy that we saw in the first couple episodes.
Not Callus. Alexander Callus.
Who's the Sideburns guy from
Rebels?
Rebels?
Yeah,
Isn't it
Callus.
Callus?
Yeah.
Callus. Yeah. I meant I don't know why I thought him, but I meant Rampart. But anyway, an Imperial like Bad Batch is here. They already kind of know that he exists and he's trying to cover it up. And now they've got a Jedi with them. And now I thought it would end with like a meeting that Rampart was having of just like, oh, there's been more sightings of the Bad Batch. And apparently they've got a Jedi with him. And then he's just like, fuck. And then Tarkin comes up and he's just like, yo, motherfucker, you got to deal with this. Like, I thought you said this is dealt with. And then him get in a lot of shit, and then that's when the credits would roll. Like
Remember,
that would
though,
have been a better episode.
Episode 2, when they did figure out like it's the Bad Batch, the officer killed the clone that said that. You know,
Yeah.
it's the Bad Batch. So it's not like the whole Empire knows that they're there, or even large groups. It's very hush hush still. There people know that they're out there, but they know they survived. They're just keeping it secret.
Or just him like getting like from a subordinate like the Trandoshans that we hired to take care of Kashyyyk or whatever, they've been taken out and they sent us this holo vid, and it just shows like Hunter running up and just like stabbing a motherfucker, and then you see a glimpse of like a lightsaber and he's just like, fuck.
That would be cool.
Like this is
that.
like just something like that. Like that would have been a good end to the episode. Of just like him seeing that like this is confirmed, and then him just being like, who else knows about this? And he's like, no one, and then just shoots him too. Like, and he's just leaving a trail of bodies to hide his mistake. Or something like that. Like that would have been
I would
cool.
be down for that.
That would have been like a good suspenseful ending.
Or instead of him leaving like a trail of bodies, him deciding like, do you know what? I'm going to take a group of people, keep it very secret. We need to get rid of them.
Mm-hmm.
And then that being kind of the plot for the season of them secretly being hunted by an Imperial officer.
Yeah, like the guy who brings it to him, he goes, okay, who else has seen this? And he goes, no one, sir. And he goes, okay, I need you to collect 5 of your best men.
Yeah.
We leave at dawn. We ride at dawn.
The battle scene at the end, just wanted to ask you guys your opinion on it. Did you guys feel that it was a bit of a letdown? Because I thought for an elite team like these guys, they would use the jungle to their advantage and really put a stranglehold on them. Like have a choke point, have some traps laid out, have some people on the trees sniping away. Like I wanted to see more of that, and I felt that for this elite group, they should have done something more like that, right?
Well, they didn't make the plan though. It was the trees. The trees told them to use the spoilers.
The spoilers.
Spoilers, Mr. Frodo.
Yes.
Yeah, it was pretty haphazard plan. I mean, they ambushed them. So I guess they
more
planned that
traps
much.
or something like that, right? I mean, I know they threw the little grenade in the tank, which is great, by the way. If you're going to stop people in their tracks, you throw it right in the middle of the group, right?
Yeah.
And let shit burn in the middle where they can't even get past the people behind them can't get to the front, and the people in the front are now trapped in front of this flame, right?
Yeah, and then Wrecker taking some notes from Jackie Chan and just picking up a fucking table and beating people with it. And
yeah, Wrecker's dope.
I still love Wrecker standing on top of that tank with the other Wookiee, and they're both just like, "Roar!"
That was pretty good. Honestly,
He should have been honorary Wookiee.
Oh yeah,
They should have gave him an honorary Wookiee, like a Wookiee little hat.
Yeah. If the Bad Batch like disbands, 100% Wrecker is going to.
he's
live
summary
with
in
the Wookiees.
Kashyyyk. Yeah,
He loves
he's
the
gonna-
drinks.
he's
He
gonna-
likes
yeah.
the people.
He loves Wookiee wives.
yep.
Oh,
Wrecker
man.
seems like a No, I'm not. gonna
Hairless
do
Wookiee.
that. Yeah, sure. That's better.
Lasered Wookiee. Ah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Overall, not bad episode.
Yeah,
Eh,
it
not
was
too
fun.
bad.
Yeah.
Now
was
we're in
good
the
to-
after hours where anything kind of flows for a little bit. We hang out for a little bit. Apparently, I'm King Alvin, so okay, cool.
Yeah.
Thanks. He says he loves the cases. Thank you. Darth, I want to know, what museum do you security guard? Don't just leave
If
us
you wanna
hanging here,
put that
bro.
on
I
the
want
internet.
to know.
Is it human or non-human?
Aren't all
That sounds
museums mixed?
Human of natural history. Usually, it's more
It'd be
about.
dope if he's in the New York Museum.
And then there's like
Oh, the Met?
Or what if he works at the Smithsonian?
anthropology.
Oh, that'd be dope.
Are you Ben Stiller?
Smithsonian, come on.
Yeah.
Smithsonian would be pretty cool.
Yep.
I've never been to the Smithsonian though.
Where is
What's Canada's best museum?
In my opinion, the Imperial War Museum. I think it's called the Imperial War Museum. It's
Where
the
is
War
that? Where
Museum
is it?
or the National War Museum. I think it's over in. I think I went to it in Ottawa, or it was it was near
Makes
Ottawa. I think it is. It's got like all the big artifacts in Canadian history, starting with like really early on wars from like the War of 1812 when the U.S. invaded Canada. Gosh, what's his name? I should remember this. The leader of the Canadian military at that time.
Is he on is he on the Fiverr? Wilfrid Laurier.
No, Sir Isaac Brock. So Sir Isaac Brock famously
Brock?
in battle. Yeah, Brock.
Lesnar.
Sir Isaac Brock famously
Yeah.
got like shot like in the heart or like near the heart, and he like bled out in the battlefield. And apparently, while he was bleeding out, he was like giving orders. And so there's a really famous painting of him like pointing. And
That's
telling
pretty dope.
People to do stuff. And so they have his uniform with the bullet hole and the blood stain still on it.
Cool.
Sick.
And of course, they've got things like tanks and old planes and everything from the Canadian War.
Stop with camel there.
I have no idea. I can't remember. It's pretty cool. The problem with Canadian museums, I guess the States has this problem too, is you might have some fantastic museums, but they're on the other side of the country, and that's really far away.
Yeah.
If you go to the UK, do you want to go to the British Museum? Yeah, we'll just get on this train. We might be a couple hours away, but it's still
Yeah,
like
because
doable.
it's the size of BC.
Yeah. But you want to do that in Greece, you can. Egypt is a little harder, but you can still you can still get to Cairo, where some of the best museums are, and they've got the new, I think it's called the Grand Egyptian Museum or the Great Egyptian Museum, which is the big museum. It's the reason why Tutankhamun's his whole, all the artifacts from Tutankhamun's tomb are no longer being brought across the world. Is because now that this museum's done, they're gonna just shove them in there.
Do you know why the pyramids are still in Egypt?
It's because it's too big to move. Is that it?
That's
Yeah.
it.
Oh, was it a joke?
Yeah.
I thought this
too
was a
heavy to
question.
move to England.
I'm sure some people would try.
Yeah.
In fact, funny enough,
Well, that's why they're no longer smooth.
one of the reasons why we have some written or like inscribed in the stone used in the tomb.
Mm-hmm.
Let me rephrase this. Sorry. One reason we have inscriptions from the pyramid that have survived the test of time is because people stole them,
Yeah.
put them in like private homes or use them for other tombs, other things, and they were preserved there better.
Mm-hmm.
And now we have them today, but they're all out of context, so we don't quite know.
They didn't
they were
label
for.
the page numbers on them, so
Well, what was it? The Greeks would do that. Sorry, my ear was itchy, and now my
That's okay.
AirPods. Oh my gosh, I can't hear anything.
you need to get them
Hello?
cleaned.
There we go. Yeah. I should. Apple provides that service.
Do they? Do they
yeah.
charge?
I have no idea. When I went to get my AirPods fixed, they did not clean them.
You have to
Darth,
ask about it.
Darth is here. Darth, which museum, or if you don't want to tell us which museum,
What type of museum?
yeah, do you guys, paleontology, like dinosaur bones, or is it more human history, or is it more like a modern anthropology museum?
Or is it aliens?
Aliens, the museum of not Graham Hitchcock. What's that guy with the big hair? Gosh, he's hilarious. I want to. The
Hold on,
guy who's
this
like
guy?
aliens. Yeah, that guy.
That guy's fucking rad.
Like it's a museum in
I
California.
won't say the name, but in case it's a museum in California. Yeah, but what type of museum?
You can't say.
No, we don't want to know the name.
No, the
but
type
just
will
like
probably give it away. We could probably just figure it out in 2 seconds.
There's a shitload of museums in California.
That's the whole point. He wants to have the shit.
We don't want to
That's
narrow it down.
But just in
Yeah,
that
but if he
alien
gives
guy,
you the type, that is narrowing it down.
I
yeah.
guess.
But just in
Come
that
everyone
alien
can
guy,
watch it.
on Ancient Aliens, he had.
Mhm.
I
Oh,
thought
that
it
guy
was
with the
funniest
weird
thing.
hair?
Yeah, that guy. So
Yeah. Anthropology type.
is
Okay.
live animals.
Cool.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Damn.
Wait, live animals?
Yeah, live animals.
What's the difference between a anthropology museum and a zoo? And I'm not.
when it's got live animals?
Well, this probably has more dead things than live things.
Oh, so it's the ratio that makes the difference.
Yeah.
I'm
Do you know what-
genuinely asking. Like,
Yeah, no.
I-
No, a zoo would have all live animals. If it had dead animals,
if
it
there's
won't
any
be a
dead
zoo.
animals, they get put out of business. Got it.
Yeah, they
That
would be
is
shut
pretty
down
cool.
real quick.
So really, if the Vancouver Zoo they have like a drought or like a disease go through, they become a museum.
They would have. I'm
Is
sure
that the
they would probably
stipulation?
send them to the next
If you-
zoo over.
if you preserve the bodies of the animals,
Yeah. So
No,
instead,
no,
we
not
just fill a couple of
preserve.
the aquariums
Yeah,
up
yeah,
with
if there's a
formaldehyde,
drought,
and then
they
it
would
becomes a
genuinely-
museum.
Okay, guys, if there's a drought, they wouldn't just let the animals sit there all day long. They would actually take them into facilities and give them the nourishment they need to survive. Why would they let them sit there in the drought?
oh, I thought you were talking about them dying and like if they become a
No.
museum because the animals died.
That's what I was saying. That was the joke.
That was Justin's.
Alvin dissected it, and I
He's like,
didn't.
no, we won't let them die. Although,
Actually,
actually,
that's
speaking
fair.
of some sad animal stuff, do you guys remember several years ago the Vancouver Museum, which isn't even in Vancouver? Where is it
Oh.
again?
it's not
zoo?
that, isn't it?
Is it North Van? No, I think it must be like
what
Abbotsford
museum are
or
you talking
something.
about?
The
Oh,
Greater
it-
Vancouver Museum.
Oh,
Sorry,
the-
Greater Vancouver Zoo.
It's in
It's
Abbotsford.
in Chilliwack or Abbotsford.
Abbotsford,
Yeah, yeah.
Abbotsford,
yeah.
Abbotsford.
I had a Black Panther fucking almost piss on me there when I was like 7.
Were you in the cage? Well, not cage.
No,
Were
I
you
was right in
the,
front of it. I was looking at the
Yeah,
giant fuck off
Little
cat.
Justin crawled into the cage.
Yeah, I was standing right in front of the cage, and I swear to God, it was pretty much just chicken wire because it's Abbotsford and they don't give a fuck. And I'm standing there, and then the cat's just like going back and forth and pacing, and then it goes to lift
sizing
its
you
leg up, and I'm just standing there going like, "Whoa, cat!" And my dad picks me up and moves me out of the way. As this giant fire hose stream of piss flies past me,
Damn.
and then I got spit on by an ostrich.
Gosh,
That place
This-
sucks.
They
Dude.
just didn't like you.
this sounds
Yeah,
like
that's fair.
gosh, the very start of Matthew McConaughey's like book.
Oh,
He's
so
got
you
like
say it's
one.
career.
No. His book. He's got like one phrase that Justin's reminding me of. He's
all
like,
right,
I s-
all right.
I've smoked peyote in a cage with a mountain lion. And-
Uh-huh.
What was her name?
what was her name?
Mountain lion, a cougar.
Oh, I don't know her name.
Oh.
It was-
That's the joke.
Oh man. But there is good news about the Greater Vancouver Zoo.
Should've
Supposedly
known.
somebody has bought it. A very rich person has bought it, and they plan to make it the biggest zoo in Canada.
An
gonna
anthropologist,
say-
philanthropist.
Thought you were gonna say they're planning to make it the most exotic restaurant in Canada.
God, all the vegans are mad at you now, including Darth.
I'm sorry,
Uh,
Darth.
He or she has bought another massive amount of land, which is on the opposite side of the highway, and that's going to be your safari, drive-through safari.
wow, we're getting a drive-through safari in this climate.
In Abbotsford?
Yeah.
I don't
I
know.
mean,
But I
it's-
just heard it on the radio. That's all I heard. So
Huh.
It'll
Well,
be great for a couple years.
to be honest with you, I heard this on the radio prior to the pandemic.
Ah.
So the pandemic might have kiboshed all that, or has just
Or
delayed it.
made more land readily available while people fuck off to the interior.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? Maybe there's 2 years delayed. That's all. But plan we're supposed to be underway for 2023. So who knows?
well,
Yeah.
Hey, look at the time.
yeah.
So
We're going on a field
This
trip,
is the
Miss
year.
Frizz.
We're going on safari. I'm gonna send out a couple people. Just run out of the car. Whoever survives the longest wins.
We went to the Lower Mainland's largest safari and set our camera crew out with 5 of our employees. The last one to survive wins. Gets $1 million.
taxidermy.
Oh yeah,
those
yeah.
freak
A
me
lot
out.
of museums. Do you know we have? Have you guys been to the Royal Museum of British Columbia in Victoria?
I have a long time
Yes.
ago. Yeah,
Yep, they've got a lot of taxidermy,
they have a lot of aboriginal
taxidermied
stuff too,
animals.
right?
They do. They're
Taxidermized.
changing that though.
Okay. Are they
Taxidermified.
giving it back to the actual
No.
plans?
They're doing the opposite.
What, they're taking more away?
So what they're doing is
Haven't they taken
redoing-
enough from them?
So they're redoing the BC history section entirely. So they're going to be adding more First Nation stuff. Yes, I know it's already nearly entirely First Nation stuff.
Hmm.
Like there's roughly half of it is, and in my opinion, they did a really good job of it. Like it looked fantastic. And it was very educational. They have a whole area where you can press buttons and listen to the different languages that are now technically dead languages, but they've recorded the phrases, so they've got at least a library of the language.
Mhm.
I thought they did a very good job of that, but I don't want to get too much into the politics of museums, which is
Nobody
something
cares
that
either.
happens a lot. But there's a push for museums to change, and that change has affected this museum, and that's arguably our only good museum on the west coast of Canada.
It's the same thing with Sea World and stuff like that, where aquariums, like people are against whales being in captivity and sharks and seals, etc., etc. I'm of the mind of, if you're gonna save these animals from getting killed out in the ocean, then do so, but then release them if the numbers go up.
Sure.
Right? That's how I feel. Like beluga whales, where they're almost come to an extinct, I rather have them in this, aquarium where I know they're not going to get slaughtered, rather than go out there in the ocean where they're just going to get slaughtered for cosmetics or whatever it is.
Well, yeah, but it's a double.
What cosmetic do you use for?
No, I
Wait,
don't.
what cosmetics?
Do I look
is
like
it
I use
for
cosmetics?
belugas?
Yeah, you're glowing. You
Yeah,
look
I'm
wonderful
glowing.
today.
Ah, thanks. This must be the oil.
Yeah, but it's a double-edged sword because it's either like, oh, we're pissed at us for capturing them and putting them in captivity, but then our defense is, well, they would just get killed. Who by who? Well,
No.
by us.
I mean, like when an animal is going down in the percentage in the wild,
Yeah.
I think having a few of them stay in captivity
Yeah,
until the numbers go up, I think is okay.
Yeah, I
Right.
know, but
Well-
I'm saying the catalyst of their population going down is because we're horrible. So then we're
not when you say you're encompassing the
as a
world,
species.
but there are certain
humans.
countries that will go and hunt them because of the value.
Mm,
Yeah,
Right?
whale
And there are
meat in
certain
Japan,
countries
delicious.
have banned now that. So it's more of protecting against one another, right?
Yeah,
if
I
the
know.
numbers are going down, it's probably our duty to protect these animals. So
No,
the-
absolutely. And there's
when the
there's
numbers
a
in that case, I don't mind them being in captivity, but overall, I don't want to see any of these creatures in a small a pool because they're massive beasts and they need to be in bigger oceans.
Speaking
right?
of extinct animals, 2023 or is it 2024 is slated to have the first woolly mammoth birth. So
I heard
there
about
was
them doing this for years.
there has been a thing that they've been working on for fucking decades.
Yeah, they've been
Where they genetically engineer with CRISPR, woolly mammoth DNA into these like giant fuck off elephants, and they're making woolly mammoths. I think it was 2023 or 2024. They were like, they'll be ready and born. And they're like, we're doing like legit Jurassic Park shit where we're just bringing old shit back. And they're like, fuck it. This is, and then Jeff Goldblum's going to show up and I don't know, say a couple of his lines. I don't remember any of them.
And then Samuel L. Just hold on to your butts, kids.
Hold on. No, wait. Hold on to your butt. Kids.
But yes, so we'll see the woolly mammoth in 2023 or 2024. So now it's going to be 2024.
Mhm.
And they're also trying to trying to clone a dodo bird. The same group.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool. I would love a dodo bird.
I call my kid that.
Dodo? You dodo?
You dodo bird.
Hell yeah. Sanctuary's over.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. That's
100%.
the good version.
I think that's what I meant in terms of protecting the animals.
One thing that's sad though is so the Vancouver Aquarium, which is governed by the Vancouver Parks Board, made a really stupid decision years ago that everyone in the city hated. I don't know a single person that supported this.
Just let sharks into the ocean. Yeah, I know.
So they weren't. One of the things that the Vancouver Aquarium does is they do so many rescues. You know, they get them if they're caught in a net or they medically
orphan whales.
They'll bring them back to health and then they'll release them. But in the case where an animal was deemed non-releasable, let's say it's missing several flippers, it can't hunt, just going to die in the wild. They used to do is they'd keep it then. Like, okay, it's going to die out in the wild. Like, we're guaranteed it's not going to live. We are going to take care of it.
Sully's kids becomes friends with it, and then they fight the army with it.
So what they did was, if it's going to die in the wild, then we'll take care of it. But the Vancouver Parks Board said you can't do that anymore with mammals. So, not at all. So they had, anytime they rescue like a seal or like a dolphin or anything that's deemed non-releasable, instead of letting it live, but trying to nurture it and raise it or just protect it in the aquarium there, they just have to put it down. And so apparently they put down a lot of animals, and the staff really didn't like that because the whole point of rescuing the animals is to let it live. But then but then all of a sudden they're forced to just put down a bunch of animals.
That's crazy.
So they did not like that, and I don't know if that's changed.
The Parks Board down.
And another thing, another interesting story from the aquarium. Do you guys remember when there used to be an orca at the aquarium?
What was its name?
Willie.
No, this
Michael.
No, it's like a First
Tito.
Nations name, I think.
Tito?
No,
we're just doing Free Willy references at this point.
Actually, do you know what? I'm gonna look this up really quickly. Vancouver.
I used to love the show Flipper on YTV, and it wasn't because of the show. It's because there's a certain cast member on that show that I had the odds for. And I'll let you figure that out, folks.
So apparently we had a whale called Bajosa.
I'm sorry, what now?
So anyways, we had the whale. I don't think it was 1995. We have other whales that stayed till like 1997. Because I remember seeing a whale, an orca at the aquarium. So it's not 1995 or 1997. I very clearly remember it. And there's a dolphin in there, which is very unique because orcas, some of them, depending on the area, they will eat dolphins in the wild. Even though orcas are technically dolphins, like a type of dolphin.
They're vicious animals, orcas. They'll mess around with those guys.
Funny enough, I've got this.
They're called killer whales.
Marine Mammals of British Columbia, and it's got like a whole section on orcas, like the transient orcas versus
this trans orcas.
Transient.
Good for them.
You're gonna get us canceled, Elvin.
No, I said good for them.
There we go. So there's a comparison between offshore, resident, and transient, the teeth, and you can see that the offshore orcas, the teeth are really worn down, and that's because they'll eat things like dolphins and sharks that are a bit more
And
abrasive.
fucking rocks
Yeah.
and boats.
Seaweed.
Yeah, they'll just eat big things that will wear their teeth down. But
Hmm.
anyways, so the orca that we had in Vancouver,
Children.
Dude, that's
well, have it at SeaWorld.
Yeah.
But
You're worried
That
about
was
me?
the
You're
one
worried
I was
about
trying
that
to
guy.
think
there's a push for a while to have this orca move to with other orcas, and so eventually they moved this orca in the Vancouver Aquarium to live with other orcas. But that orca missed it didn't like socialize very well with the other orcas, and it missed the dolphin, and eventually the orca died, and then the dolphin died, and people said that it was because like the orca that would move over didn't socialize at all with any of the other orcas and died from loneliness, because apparently that's well, I get they're very intelligent creatures.
Yeah.
I don't know how we went from Star Wars to orcas, but hey, this is the after hours.
Slavery.
And there you go. Animals being left alone in the wild.
Yeah.
A Wookiee should never be left alone in the wild.
Exactly.
They should be quarantined first. Was
What'd
there
you watch
anything else
this
you
week,
guys want to
Alvin?
talk about before we wrap it up?
What'd you watch this week, Alvin?
Oh, I watched The Last of Us, which Nathan has not come back since day one.
I haven't been able to, unfortunately, because of work. But gosh, from what I've
You're
heard,
gonna have
it's
to
so
come.
good.
You're gonna have to come on the 19th of February. I will not be here. So on the 19th of February.
Oh gosh,
Otherwise,
fingers crossed.
otherwise, Justin's flying solo.
Yeah, I'm
There's
afraid
one thing I know how to do. It's talk to myself for a fucking 2 hours.
Unfortunately, I've been dragged to.
I'm gonna have 2 cameras, and I'm gonna switch between them both, and I'm gonna have a conversation with myself. It's gonna be great.
You
It's
just
gonna be
imagine-
the
and then-
most
Oh my god!
amount of production value.
I'm gonna
Just
be.
what?
I've been dragged to Seattle, unfortunately, for the weekend.
Seattle. That's just the American.
Okay,
Vancouver.
so here's the crazy thing.
Yeah, it's,
I
just
haven't been
it's just Vancouver with a different flag.
since last year. I didn't go to Seattle for like 15 years. Since last year, I've been to Seattle, including this 4 times. So I don't know. That's so weird. Like I didn't go for.
You have
15
family
years.
there?
Yeah.
No, I have nobody.
Why the fuck
there.
are you going to Seattle so much?
Do you like it?
Because my significant other wants me to take the kids there.
What's in Seattle?
Why?
I don't know.
Okay, in fairness, Seattle's got some pretty cool spots. They've got
I got
the
Buster's
fish market.
Arcade. I guess I don't know.
they got a whole city underneath the city, although it's all
Motherfucker,
old.
we have Gastown, son. You could just go there. Just
I don't
dude,
know.
what do they have? They've got
They
Climate
have
Change
everything we
Arena
have.
with the Krakens, which is a new
Yeah.
hockey team.
I went to the arena 2 weeks ago.
They should have called it the Krakens.
it's a big circle
Den
with
or
ice.
something
What the
like that.
fuck's the difference?
I know.
Yeah, they're all. Yeah, I know, Justin. They're all basically
an
the same.
igloo.
They all serve $40 beers. Like, what the fuck? There's no
He's
difference.
not even lying about that. The food was really expensive,
Yeah,
like ridiculously expensive.
that's why you got to bring your own hot dogs. Okay, I sound crazy, but like you just put them in tinfoil.
I don't want to
Yeah.
know. I don't want to know.
No, you just go to Costco and then you
You
buy
can
like
put your hot
15
dog in a
and then you
tinfoil all
bring
day
your own
long.
stand and then you
Whatever
can make your
floats
money
your boat.
back.
Because like they'll charge you $10 for like the same thing you can make it for like
Anyways,
$1.
I'm
And
actually.
also Costco's right across the street from the fucking stadium. Like
Yeah.
just go to Costco, get like 10 glizzies, and then charge your friends $10 each, and they're still saving money.
I also have to on Monday have to fly back here, like drive really fast back, because I have to watch the Ant-Man movie at 3:30 p.m. So I'll leave
Ooh.
Seattle by 9:30 ish, get to the border by 11, and then maybe take a lunch break and then go to the theater. It's family
Gosh.
day, so I just had to get some tickets to watch Ant-Man.
You know, the first
Hell yeah,
Ant-Man-
Gutierrez.
We appreciate
first-
you, by the way.
Yes.
We appreciate you.
The very first Ant-Man, they had that great ad campaign. It was just really weird. It was Paul, and I forgot the other guy's name with the beard. But they were like just slapping their knees, and then the bearded guy goes, "Ants." And then Paul will go, "Ant-Man." And it was just so random, but it was great.
Wait. The guy from Tron?
the doctor in Ant-Man that
Douglas?
teaches him. Yeah.
Michael
No,
Douglas?
what's the actor's name? Is it Michael Douglas?
Yeah, Michael Douglas.
Yeah, him. It's just him and Paul just doing the weirdest thing. Here, wait, let me.
It is Michael Douglas. I know who it is.
Was he in Tron?
I don't think he was in Tron.
Who am I thinking of?
I don't know who you're thinking of.
I'm thinking of Jeff
thing.
Bridges.
Yeah, I saw that. It looks pretty cool. But one thing about Yamaguchi figures, it's really crazy to pose them. It's an artwork, all right, to pose those characters.
What Yamaguchi figures do you have?
I have 0 Yamaguchi figures
Oh, okay.
because D warned me.
Why are they the bane of your existence to pose?
So they're very, very intricate in how you pose them. It's hard to explain, but they have overly done the articulation.
Oh, okay.
To the point, if you bend the knee, this will move. If you bend that, then this will move. So you really need to
Are they geared?
it's not geared. It's highly posed. But when you hit that pose, though,
They never.
what I've
move?
been told, it's fantastic.
Hmm.
It's just the paint to get it to that point.
Is it because most figure manufacturers go with, for the most part, the same
yeah.
human mechanics, but Yamaguchi is just like, fuck it, we want you to be able to get them in any pose possible.
Yeah.
And they're not using like the same mechanics that like a human kneecap kind of will have. They're just like,
they are, but
fuck it, it's a ball joint.
they added on top of that.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so it's like your armor will move if you move this in a certain way. It's
Oh shit, and then there's
it's
stuff
just
on top of it.
But like I said, there's a lot of people that like it because it's so over the top that you could definitely hit 99% of the poses. Easy.
Yeah, I don't have any AA either.
Yeah, I would. I wanted to get into it because they look great. Like I've seen them in display shows at stores where a Deadpool will hit a pose, knees bent, a leg sliding out with the blades, in his hands in different directions, and it looks fantastic. But it's just getting it to that point. It can be frustrating for a lot of people, and I've been warned by several of my fellow collectors: stay away from it if you don't want the headache.
Oh, so. Elvin, something I noticed today while I was posing that Duke. I think you should check all, or not all, but a bunch of your G.I. Joes. He also had one wrist that went this way and one wrist that went that way. Is that just G.I. Joe standard?
It's G.I. Joe to weapon hand and gun hand. Wristing different
that's
directions.
Interesting
because
that they have the different like XY articulation.
Yeah, people have requested Marvel. Why aren't they doing that? Because Marvel would just do one direction only.
Well, at that point, why not just do a ball hinge? Because it would be cheaper.
Money.
No, it would be cheaper. No, it would be cheaper because now you have two different points. You have two
just
different
be a socket.
Oh, because but it's the difference in manufacturing. That is a separate piece that is to do one thing as opposed to one piece that does two things. That saves you money there.
I don't know if it does or not, but I know that's not their style. They want to stick to the standard socket hinges, right? So that's a Mafex and SH figure art. They do that
for
really
sure.
Well. And
Mafex and SH, they definitely suffer with.
Yeah, McFarlane does have a ball hinge.
But
also ball hinge
G.I. Joe
look really ugly.
Yeah, but also G.I. Joe is still like those are also for kids. SH and those are for collectors and like
adult collectors,
adult stuff. So like ball hinges are way more fragile and will pop out if you breathe on them wrong. So like I also get
swallow it. Kids won't swallow it in their mouth.
That's true. Lawsuits.
Yeah. So and then aesthetically, I've seen McFarlane, like he's mentioned, Darth. Some of the ball hinges are just so weird and ugly looking.
Yeah.
It just sticks right out. You're just like, oh man, this looks bad. Yeah. So, and then they have their style and they want to keep that style because
I mean it works. It was interesting to notice, and it definitely.
And the other thing about G.I. Joe is that's their own IP. They don't
Yeah.
pay any fees
No.
like Star Wars or Marvel figures when they make.
No.
The licensing costs so much. That's why you see Star Wars figures, a lot of repaints
Mhm.
and very little amount of accessories
Mhm.
for Star Wars stuff because they pay through their nose for licensing. to
Also,
Disney.
too, I think they actually we both thought that this was the same motorcycle. I think it's a different bike.
Well, let's bring it into the studio and we'll
I
find
think
out.
it's a different model. I don't remember the first one being like having handles and having him being able to hold it.
No, it has handles.
I remember trying to put that minigun in that sidecar.
From what
and
I
remember
gather,
it
it's the
being
exact
a-
same bike.
I remember no, the bike, sure, but the sidecar. I think they redid the sidecar because I remember
Okay.
that thing being a fucking piece of shit trying to get it together. And this one clips in and has.
I
from
think
what
maybe
I
you're
remember-
mistaking that for the tank guy and the Reaper.
No, I remember the motorcycle because that was the first. I think that was one of the first videos I did with you guys.
Okay, we'll take a look. Bring it in the studio and take a look.
Yeah, I'll rewatch the video because I remember it being
Yeah.
annoying as shit.
From
and us
all
taking-
accounts, it's supposed to be a direct ripoff of the other bike from Breaker.
Hmm.
So, and the Duke's supposed to be the exact same Duke from the many Dukes that we've already gotten. I think
Oh,
we got
yeah.
like 3 Dukes. Could be wrong. Could be 2. But
Mhm.
yeah, this was the thing.
and he had the
Nathan's
the
like, "What are
standard-
you guys talking about?" Just
Do you know what?
stop."
I could say it's all Greek to me, but if it was, at least I'd
Oh.
understand it a bit more.
Speaking of Greek, by the way, speaking of Greek, I'm actually heading down that way.
Greece?
Oh,
or to a
in
restaurant.
August.
nice.
Darth asked Nathan, "Do you figure collect?"
So
He only
I
collects
have-
the best figures ever, McFarlane.
I think McFarlane figures look pretty good, but I get a lot of flack for that.
Only for me, I think.
They do look good.
I do
That's
have
because- This
Some
gentleman has
collectible
only
toys,
been
though.
exposed to cheap beer. He has to come over here to be exposed to wine.
I do have a lot of like collectible toys. Not a ton of figures personally. I've got some Star Wars figures.
Your Obi-Wan still sitting here.
Yes. Oh god, that's the
When
Kenobi
are you
one,
gonna
right?
actually come to the studio? Jeez,
It's hard. I'm like every single day I'm
it's
at
not hard. You
school
just
or
drive.
work.
You just drive in a car, and it's not hard.
But
No,
there's
no,
snow
no,
on the
it's
ground.
It's not like you're
hard.
hiking a mountain to get here.
Uphill both ways in your brother's shoes while he was wearing them.
But no, you see, look.
Yeah, I know. That's why I make
McFarlane's
fun of
aren't
Darth all
bad.
the time.
They're not like sure from like a technical level.
I'm
If
kidding.
you have experience with a lot of different figures, then McFarlane might be different. But McFarlane makes some really nice looking figures. In my
They're very stylized.
opinion.
Absolutely.
yeah, gosh, there are some figures that I wanted to get, but they're so expensive. There's some like historical figures I've seen of like Roman legionaries, and they just look
third party,
sick.
Hell yeah.
But they're like $79 to $100 each. It's like, oh shit!
Hmm.
If I had that money, I'd be getting. Even though I'm not a huge fan, I'd be getting that new Hasbro Indiana Jones line. Of
Good God, please don't say that. Oh,
Yo,
yeah, I
speaking
know
of
it's
Has-
disappointing so
single
far.
hinges.
speaking of Hasbro announcements, they announced Black Series. My
Yeah, I saw them.
favorite, the Scout
see-
Trooper.
Do you see period
Helmet.
period
Oh.
Vader?
Oh, and the
Period.
period too. Yeah, and he comes apart.
So are you pulling up the new Black Series stuff? Because I do
Yeah.
want to see this.
Yes, they what the fuck?
I should mention I have some Black Series stuff as well.
This is Etsy. That's not what I want.
Just go to Hasbro's Pulse page.
I just
Oh, you
said- oh,
like
I
this?
just-
Wait, Justin, you like the Scout Troopers?
that's my favorite helmet.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh
I
I
just
just
think
think
it
the
looks-
helmet.
The rest
Oh.
of them I think look stupid, but
What?
the helmet on the bikes looks so like that's a motorcycle helmet.
That's what.
Oh, it's a dirt bike helmet.
Dirt
to
bike,
Yeah,
me.
it's
yeah.
a dirt bike
Yeah.
helmet. Like I just think that when I saw them in Return of
you're
the
gonna get
Jedi, oh, absolutely. I'm getting that one and
Order
the
from
phase.
GameStop.
I will. You've told me. I'm getting that one and then the phase 2 clone trooper, and those are going with yeah. So I've got the Boba Fett. I have to get the Mandalorian helmet now.
Are you ordering online or are you going to go to store?
I don't know, whichever's easier or cheaper.
You live in Burnaby.
I don't. I live
West.
in
I would
none of
go to-
those things. I live in Richmond, technically.
You can go to Metrotown GameStop if you want,
Sure.
and just pre-order from there, and then give my phone number as a pre-order.
They don't. They haven't released or announced pre-orders yet.
Okay,
Hmm.
because I get the discount, so you can get some.
Yeah,
Dollars
but
off.
I'm getting that, and then the Phase 3 Clone Trooper. No, not Dark Trooper. Black Series. Oh, I have clearly Googled this before. Yeah,
Oh, the Phase 2.
Phase 2. Yeah, I
Damn,
thought it
those-
was Phase
yeah.
2.
Yeah, Phase 2.
Sick.
That's fucking dope.
Do you know what? When it comes to Clone Troopers, I don't
Mhm.
dislike the Phase 2. I know a lot of purists that really like the Phase 1 with like the really T looking
Yeah,
visor. But for Phase 2, I like it most when it's like got some sort of paint scheme on it. So
Yeah.
you know, sometimes you'll see them with like the blue, like the two blue stripes that go down the sides of the crest
Or
on top.
I love the Stormtrooper helmet. That's
Wait.
OG.
For Phase 2, which yeah, they look pretty cool. Do you know what looks good too? Is the Phase 2 not Commando, Arc Trooper. Phase 2 Arc Trooper.
yeah.
All right, that looks sick, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, there.
Yeah, that's pretty dope.
But because I've got the Stormtrooper helmet, so I'll have like I'll have, I guess, Phase 2, then Phase 2, and then Stormtrooper. Fuck, I gotta get another one. So they have to be in twos because I've already got the Boba Fett, so then I'll have the Mandalorian. I didn't want to get the Mandalorian helmet because I was like, well, I already got a Boba Fett. I already have a Mandalorian's helmet. But then now that they've announced because I was just going to do Stormtrooper and then the Phase 2, and then well, no, I was just going to do Stormtrooper Phase 2. No, I need multiples of 2 because of my shelves.
Charles said, is that that's Jesse, right?
Are you talking about that clone? That looks like 5s to me, but I could be wrong.
5s was
He became an Arc Trooper.
yeah.
Yeah, it's 5s.
Yeah. Yeah, he was an ARC Trooper. Yeah, he got.
He eventually became an
Indoctrinate.
Arc Trooper. And then he
Whoa, a
got
GIF.
killed. Yeah. Like,
What a
you got to
cool
admit,
gift.
Give me my
he
helmet
looks sick.
back. Give me
was
my
my
helmet
favorite.
back.
He was my favorite clone, and I was so sad when he died.
Yeah, 5s was fucking.
Well, thanks
sick.
for ruining it for me now.
This is,
I'm
this is
just
like many
kidding.
years
I'm
old.
kidding. I'm kidding. Yeah, schmuck.
Like, see, Clone Trooper 5s is an unsung hero. I
Yep.
saw that. He is a great character.
Yep.
The Clone Wars has got such good character progression. It's
Absolutely.
fantastic.
For a
Commander
group
Thorn.
of identical soldiers and characters, the amount of character progression and differentiation that they have between them is astounding.
Yes.
Like,
There's way too many troopers. There's too many.
yeah, but the fact that like people know like 5s and Cody and Rex
Echo.
and like Echo and the Bad Batch too is also like helping
Wolf.
solidify that. Wolf, yep.
And as Dart said, Commander Thorn just looked up his armor to remember. It's pretty sick. It's like this red, but it's like this red pattern that kind of looks like tiger stripes, but not quite
Oh
tiger stripes.
yeah, like the
It's pretty cool.
let's see. Who was you know what was one of the coolest ones was the
I like the Mandalorian helmets with Maul's spikes on there.
Yeah.
yeah.
What's it
I
called? The
have those
Crimson
Crimson
called?
Dawn.
Crimson
Yeah.
Dawn. Yeah, Crimson
Yeah.
Dawn Mandos. That was pretty cool. That looked very cool. They look dangerous. Let me quickly look up
The flame troopers from the Mandalorian were some of the fucking coolest
Yeah, these guys
paint
look dope.
schemes. You know, like that zipper head. I don't know what it was
Loyalist.
from, but it was like they had a zipper on their head, and the rest it was like all flesh and blood underneath. Like that's what that reminds me of. They look fucking sick. Also, too, the new trilogy, the First Order armor, I thought all
Yeah,
looked
they look-
fucking sick.
They look dope. I love
Yeah,
the
it
fact
was-
that they have the electrical batons
Yeah,
and they're like
like
flipping
the flame
around.
troopers.
It looks sick.
Yeah, the design for the new trilogy was phenomenal.
I'm surprised they never did a TV show on troopers.
Mm-hmm. Especially with having Finn being a defector and giving
Yeah,
like personality to all that, like having a side story of just like troopers defecting.
live action. I mean, live action. Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
Like
That'd
that
be
would have
cool.
been a safe like first show.
Yeah,
The fact that they went for the Mandalorian first and didn't go from like tales from you know this troop or whatever and just do like some subpar shitty war movie TV show.
it could have been comedy too, because you could have had like the training programs where they learn how to shoot.
Well, yeah.
And they can't shoot anything. They're like, just go. You're passed.
Yeah,
We need you.
you're fodder. It's fine.
Just line up. Look pretty.
Be
Yeah,
imposing. Yeah.
that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Shall we wrap it up today? Or we have anything else?
I watched this week the second season of Record of Ragnarok, which is this anime of a bunch of deities going into this giant what's the big fighting ring in Rome called Colosseum and
Yeah, the
fighting.
Colosseum.
So if in the first season you see who's it, like Adam and Eve fight like Zeus
Oh, damn.
and Lobu. He's this like old Min dynasty, I think, like general who like fucking murdered a shitload of people and he becomes a god or something. And so it's just like god fights and it's fucking sick. And then like Hercules fights Jack the Ripper in this season.
Oh, I heard about this. Yeah.
And
What
then
the hell?
it's so fucking cool.
Where does one see this?
It's on Netflix. It's done by Netflix.
What's it called again?
Record of Ragnarok.
Live action or
and
animation?
It's an anime.
Record
And
of Ragnarok.
right, and then the end, like bunch of episodes is Shiva fighting this like historic sumo wrestler who's like fucking jacked as shit and had like
Don't tell me anymore. I want to watch.
it's fucking sick.
How old is this?
The second season just came out this like last week.
Okay, I shall check it out.
It's fucking sick. It's just god fights.
Sick.
And yeah, there's a lot of Norse gods in it. A lot of Norse mythology and stuff like that. And then it's just like, yeah, who's this god? Oh yeah, Buddha's in it. Like it's just just
Buddha in a
everybody.
fight ring?
Yeah, Buddha's in it.
Buddha should fight the sumo.
Maybe
Mhm.
you'll have to watch.
But Buddhists don't fight though. They're
No,
opposite.
they
of-
don't.
Buddha fucks.
Oh, well,
God.
they don't do that either. All right, I'm gonna wrap it up today because I'm
All
gonna
right.
gotta head to bed so that I
Do
can have
it.
an early start tomorrow. But this Saturday, 8:30 a.m. Pacific time, Mighty Mornings is back. I will be running solo this Saturday. Chris is off to work for this one weekend, so I'll be running solo. I've already got my show prepped, ready to go.
What are you
I'm
talking about?
ready- I can't reveal it till the day of the show.
Oh,
Yeah, we always do that. We wait till the show starts to reveal it, so it's a surprise. But I'm pretty jacked about this one because I really like this show. It's a
Yeah.
very very small show. Not too many people watched it, but I loved it a lot.
yeah.
So,
SpongeBob.
smack you. But yeah, and then Sunday night at 9:05 p.m. We are back for The Last of Us, arguably the best show of 2023 already. I know there's a
Well,
long ways to go.
One
I'm
of
gonna put
one
it
of the
out
best
there.
shows of the decade.
Yeah. Well, you know what? You could. I don't think you're wrong there. I
Yeah.
honestly, I don't think you're wrong because
It's got the makings so far.
yeah, we get about 2 more episodes of this high market. We've been ranking in 9.5, 9, and 10s.
The
if
last
this-
two episodes, I gave a 10.
Yeah, if we keep going
In a row.
that route, it could possibly be one of the best shows of the decade.
Yeah. And two, so like shows that I love, I'll watch differing opinions and I'll be like, okay, I can see what you mean. Or like, so like, Andor, for example, when you had a different opinion and told me the things that you didn't like about it, I was like, I understand why you are saying that and why you think that way. And that's fine. I don't think that, or I have a different
Yeah.
reason for thinking otherwise, but I understand where you're coming from, whatever. The people who are talking shit about this show, I'm just like, I have no fucking idea why you're saying any of these things because none of
Who
that
are
makes
these
sense.
people? Because I shall go and obliterate them.
It's one person that you listen to and watch that I saw a video of
Nerdzoic?
today. No.
Rotten Tomatoes.
Critical Drinker?
Yes.
He doesn't like the show.
He's on the fence. He hates Ellie.
Oh, I hate Ellie too. but
But
not
not
you're supposed
for
to
an
hate Ellie
acting,
though.
but not as an act, not for a performance or
Oh, I
talent
see.
wise.
Okay, so it's more of the acting part than the actual
Yeah,
character. Okay.
And but not only him, but like just other people who I've seen like who are like, oh, I don't know, it's got a couple okay parts, but this I don't like and this I don't like. I'm just like, yeah, I don't know that you're watching the same fucking show, dog. Like,
Oh, did they give it a good score though?
They give it a like, it's okay, and I'm just like, you are
Oh.
insane.
Yeah, I don't know what they're talking about. I don't know what they're smoking. You know what? But hey, they're entitled to their own opinion. Not everyone's
Absolutely.
Gonna like,
But that's what I mean. Like other shows that I really like, I can understand where people are coming from. This show, I don't understand why people. across
honestly,
the
there are
board
some
aren't-
people just absolutely don't like this apocalyptic world genre stuff.
Sure.
They don't like it, and I get it. But
Yeah.
then don't review it then.
Yeah,
You're just you're gonna
somebody
straight
does
hate
not
it.
know the source material,
Yeah.
and they're just like, oh great, another zombie show, like totally.
Honestly, like yeah, if
but
you're
everyone
not
that
into
I've
that
seen
genre,
who didn't
don't
like it,
review it.
yeah,
right?
everyone who I've seen who didn't like it is like, I played the games, I love the games, and I'm just like, then you should be fucking happy. This is the game, but now Pedro Pascal's here.
Yeah, we get
I-
upset when you deviate from the source material of the game. We can't
But
get
this-
upset when they stick to it.
But this show,
Yeah.
when it deviates, it actually adds to the whole lore.
Exactly.
Well, yeah, and
It
that's
gives
good.
me
adds,
a
it
reason to
doesn't
keep
subtract.
watching. Yeah, and
Usually,
that's
when
why
we watch
I've
video
been.
game shows, they subtract.
Yeah,
right?
that's why I've been giving it tens the last two episodes
Yeah.
because I'm just like they're giving me extra things now. Like I already know what's happening, and when the things that I know that are about to happen, half the time I'm like, oh, they did that so well, and it still affected me. And then the other half, they change it slightly, and I'm like, fucking cool. That was also a beautiful story. What the fuck is in your hand?
A&R man.
That is so
What are his powers?
cool. Yeah, what
He
is his
punches
power?
so hard that he makes a hole in the multiverse.
His Fist of the North Star.
He's so fast that people think there's 2 of them. Woo!
Ugh.
Oh man, yeah. Brad, our awesome customizer, a local guy here, friend of the show and part of the show, made these for us in the office here, and then D was able to get the logos on. His
That's so
shirt,
cool.
yeah. He's got an A for asshole on his belt. So, yeah. So come get some.
Yeah.
Somebody in the chat on Monday when we revealed them, they're like, he looks like Radioactive Man from The Simpsons. I said, shut your mouth.
Yeah.
I go, he is stronger than Radioactive Man. He drinks radioactive for energy when he works out of the gym. Okay.
What's
Eats
the-
radioactive man.
Um,
Also,
what's the-
there's no similarities whatsoever.
yeah, I know. I don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, it's the other way around. The
Yeah,
colors.
like hello.
Totally.
What's
What's the opposite of radioactive?
cool breeze?
Non-radioactive.
No, that's a Doritos flavor.
When he farts, Doritos flavors come out.
Gross.
And people also say taste the rainbow when he flies by.
Thanks, antonym.com. What's the opposite of
Non-radio-
radioactive? Non-radioactive.
There you go. He's
Thanks,
non-radioactive.
What's the A&R on the back of his cape stand for?
Astonishing news and reviews. Come on, duh. Jeez, everybody knows that. What are you, popcorn chicken?
I
No,
can't
actually,
think of anything.
I'm already a fan of his.
Look at this one. How you like that?
It's pretty good, actually.
Got the shirt here waiting for you. I even have Mighty Beaver.
Might be.
You know what's his catchphrase? He doesn't give a damn.
I gotta eat wood.
Oh, yeah. I can't wait for that shirt. I cannot wait to make that shirt. It's gonna have the Mighty Beaver in the front, and it says he doesn't give a damn on the back. How cool is that? Come on, that dude is just jacked. He is taking some
Yes.
beaver
He does
steroids.
look
He
pretty
is
rad.
You should
jacked.
just sell it to souvenir shops in in Canadian cities.
I would make a killing in Banff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a killing in Banff. I can't wait. We're gonna actually get a 3D head of a beaver, Mighty Beaver head, 3D head, and we can take this head off and plop that on there.
No, make bobbleheads.
Yeah, we'll do all kinds of things. We got 3D machines here. We're gonna be
Oh my
getting those
God.
fired up soon.
I can just imagine a
3D
human
machines?
superhero
Are
with
you
a
talking
beaver
about
hat.
3D
computers?
printers. Yeah.
We got them 3D machines.
What are you, 55? You have to tell you
That's
it's a
what I was
printer?
asking you.
Well, a 3D machine. What do you think it was?
That sounds like a
You old
computer box
fogey.
to me.
Yeah, I can't wait to get those made. And then Brad also made this. He made a demented version of My Pet Monster. Do you remember this show?
Dude, it's like oh no, it's not like a Furby, but the hair, the color scheme is like Furbies.
Yeah, My Pet Monster Gone Wild.
I don't know what that's from.
My Pet Monster?
No,
don't know the
I
show?
vaguely- No. Oh,
okay.
speaking of shows that nobody watched, when I brought up the Creepy Crawlers TV show a while back, I looked it up, and it is exactly how I remember it, but worse. It is so bad. All of the episodes are on YouTube because nobody gives a fuck about the copyright on that show. The creators
That's
are
when
all
he does bad, when it's all shows there.
yeah, and like the opening song is fucking garbage. It's so bad.
So you watched
The
this when you were a
premise-
kid?
I watched the shit out of it when I was a
Wow.
kid, and my brain I thought that I only remembered like bits and pieces. No, I remembered the entire premises, or the entire
Wow.
premise. It was just that.
It was so
Sparse.
suppressed in your mind that when
No,
you watched it, it unlocked
No,
it.
the show was just so poorly written that everything I remembered was the only thing that happened in the show. There was some guys, there was some goop, and there was a fucking old German guy who was bad, and that's the premise of the show. And they hang upside down to get goop to fall forward, and then they fight crime or some shit. That's the only thing that happens.
Oh my god.
And then there's some surfer dude that is.
Oh,
like,
there's a surfer dude. Okay, that's
yeah,
cool.
because I was like, I remember there was a kid and he was like, "Whoa, what are you guys?" That's just I could do the fucking voice acting for him because it's so bad. We can probably watch it on Mighty Mornings and not get copyright and stricken because nobody fucking cares about that show.
Well, maybe you could do that one of these days. But this weekend I'll be there doing my thing. If anybody is awake in my team, they can come join me. But if not, I'll be riding solo, and I don't mind.
Saturday morning.
8:30 a.m. You'll probably be sleeping.
No, I'm. You know what? Maybe I'll stay up.
You might even not even. I'll mention the show to you off air, so you can do some research on it. But
Okay,
I gotta head out. It's been
All
a
right.
slice,
it's been.
and
It's been fun.
we'll do this again next week on episode 7.
Hell yeah!
Say bye, everybody.
Bye,
Bye,
everybody.
everybody.